Howdy. Howdy, howdy.
You didn't like my music, Jim?
Hey.
We decided we didn't like it last week. Remember, there's a lot of negative feedback in the chat.
And yet you had a whole week and didn't pick a new song.
You're right. I didn't. Because all the songs I would pick are copyright, not me. So I was like, oh, yeah, I was going to do that. Oh, well. Well. So how's everybody? What's going on?
You got enough time in your schedule to complain and whine, but not enough time to man up and solve the problem.
yeah.
Okay.
Correct. I had to fix network things today.
I didn't mind the other music, but
Networking.
it didn't need to be 20 minutes long or however it was.
Right. It was the very longest 2 minutes in the world. You're correct.
It was,
It was like I was being waterboarded.
It was 2 minutes
lasted
too
so
long.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
Or 2
All these
minutes and
boys
30
got all this
seconds.
time to complain.
That's
You know,
what
I-
Hannon's all about, right?
Complaining? Yeah.
doing nothing.
That's right.
Right.
Being a guy.
Chuck, what you drinking tonight?
Playing.
Little fat tire.
Well,
So-
fat tire, awesome.
Nice.
So that good stuff. I think it's made down the road. Someplace.
Hollywood saying that Jim's microphone, and that thing has sounded like complete LaRue. How you're so close to 1,000 subs since getting that new mic, I'll never know. You know what I mean? Like, turn it up or get it a little closer. Don't be shy. I think that,
Jim's microphone is probably okay, but I believe you guys are extra special hot.
Are you telling Hollywood
You
he's a
used to
damn
be
liar?
hot all the time.
Let's get it from the
you
chat.
never,
How do we
from what I
sound
understand
it?
from your wife, you're never hot. But I mean,
Right.
Ooh.
Is this better? Does this make y'all happy now?
did you
Are
get a
we
different
happy?
mic or something?
I'll tell you what. Hey, hold on. I'll
Looks like
fix
my
it.
mic.
I'll fix it. All right, I fixed it, guys.
Oh, it's perfect now.
I'm showing you right
How's that?
right
better?
now.
He just got a new mic. It's brand spanking.
He did.
Yeah, me,
This
me
is
and
a
Jim
Procaster.
have the
Kinda.
same mic, actually.
It's a what?
It's
Oh,
a
that's
Rode
why.
Procaster.
Yep.
Oh, that's why.
And I'm using the Procaster settings on the Rodecaster 2 Pro.
Yeah, we have the same gear.
Yes.
And somehow Dennis manages to get his to work.
Oh my God! Somehow somebody has got the volume turned up way too loud on there.
Settings are right on Dennis.
I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. How am I too loud, folks?
Sometimes I
No,
just
you're
making
sometimes I
sure.
wonder if mine's actually on.
you're normal volumed. Chuck, yours sounds fine.
I
But
don't have
someone in
anything special
Wisconsin
here.
and someone in Nebraska might be a little hot on the game. In my
I actually turned mine down already. I'll turn it down again just for you.
Did you?
I think
Mine's
yeah,
fine.
sounds great.
Oh, now there's less noise.
Oh,
That's
he muted.
Steve turned off.
That's fine.
Of course.
Who?
Do you guys want me to share this right now or not? Maybe not.
Go ahead. Go.
Share
I mean,
it.
What else we got to do?
So
Sure,
see
Chuck.
it.
We have
So
five
we-
guys who like to 3D print. This is an appropriate.
So
appropriate.
we
forum.
ordered something different, trying to save some money to our customers, but it's actually a really good one. In this one, I did a little acetone, kind of a little vapor, and then the back it doesn't really get much. But then I stuck it in for like too long, and look how the back of this one came out.
Well, that's slicker than
Shiny.
greased owl poo.
That
But we
looks
rejected these.
really
These are
smooth.
they're probably really really good, but they didn't make the cut. So it's experimental.
Mike, I can't comment on that.
There we go. Get you back out of solo layout. I saw you feeling uncomfortable there, a little uneasy.
Oh, I was reading.
Well, here's my update. I've been working on this, and this is my RF detector. What do we call this? A field strength meter. And one of the things is that this is only 100 microamps. This meter here. So I got to thinking to myself, these jokers are like $9-10. What if I ordered one straight from China? I could probably save a buck or two. Well, I was able to find one that was 500 microamps. And here it is.
Nice.
See the problem I got there? It's a wrong damn size. So
I thought you were going to say 500 lira or something. Or
no, it's microamps. So,
You notice Jim's gone and the air's gone again. He's blaming it on me.
I didn't
Like,
do it.
listen to this.
did he change his background? That wasn't the background he had earlier, was it?
Yeah, it is. Same one.
Okay.
Steve, you fixed yours, Steve. That's all I got to say.
My audio, yeah.
So I
They're
just
saying
want to
that,
shout out
No,
to
Steve still
Red
has not
Summit
fixed
RF.
his audio.
Red Summit
Well,
RF
there's
had
still
some
some
good
noise there,
videos
but it's not
recently.
bad.
Really enjoyed them.
Dorks.
And hello
Oh,
to
is it
everyone
dorks?
else.
What are we doing tonight? I forget.
Well, we brought on the king of all nerds.
Oh boy.
And no code, you are correct. This is the guy from the Hamdom Thoughts podcast, Mr. Hamdom
Mr.
himself.
Hand
Yes.
thoughts.
Focused
Mr.
on the
Hamdom.
dumb. Ham dumb. But anyway, welcome everyone. I am your host today for
Yeah, I guess you're the
Coffee
host.
and Ham Radios and more. And
Right.
let's talk about what I always do in Toad's Discord. I will jump in and say, "Hey nerds, what's going on?" But what am I calling people really?
When you call them a nerd.
Well,
The
call 'em a
thing
nerd.
is that what has unfortunately happened since the 80s, right?
Right.
You know, the heyday of mullets and hair bands and yellow beer, is that you have people now wearing skinny jeans, drinking flavored beers, and
Hey,
it's
hey,
okay.
watch it.
It's okay to be nerdy. I don't know when and how this happened. Like the way that political correctness is going, there's really only so many things that we can still openly mock and not get in trouble for it. And nerds was one of those things, but somehow
I'm
they slipped-
triggered.
they slipped through the crack. That's kind of my take on it. Now, you know, people will be talking to chicks and saying things that you would have never said back in the 80s, being like, "Oh yeah, I'm really nerdy. I'm into, I don't know, sci-fi."
I'm a ham radio
right.
operator.
Ham radio
Well, it's a little
operator.
different. Emergency
Exactly.
communications.
I'm an
Emergency
emergency
communications is not nerdy. It's really a survivalist prep thing. It's total alpha.
Go box.
I get you all the chicks too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right, Richard is now saying I'm way down in the noise, so let me do something.
You
See,
started talking really soft or something, man.
No.
He did.
Hello.
Damn it.
How's that?
That's his fan.
Freaking cat.
Cat owns you, man.
If she'd jump up here and lay down, it'd be fine. But she gets up here and
She owns you.
But see, that's
Christ.
the thing is that now it's become vogue to refer to yourself.
Well,
as a,
okay, so arguably, Ape,
Ape.
the term that you're referring to is a geek.
well, I saw Revenge of the Nerds a few times.
A nerd is when you're talking about like hipsters and people who are into, shiny things, sporting their iPhones and their iPads and having the latest, greatest gear and, they're
Right.
looking chic. You're talking about geeks. That's my hypothesis.
That's your definition of it.
Yes. I actually was looking this up, geek versus nerd, because I'm a nerd and I had to know this. So I looked it up. And there are some definitions
Richard.
out there based on this guy. I can't remember his name. I don't have the source, but a geek, according to the definition, is an enthusiast of a particular topic or field. They're collection oriented. They gather facts and mementos related to their subjects, are obsessed with the newest, coolest, trendiest things that their subject has to offer. Now, a lot of people probably hearing that, and I was like,
I
ham
identify
radio.
with that.
A nerd's definition is a studious intellectual, although, again, of a particular topic or field. Nerds are achievement-oriented, not collection-oriented, and focus their efforts on acquiring knowledge and skill over trivia and memorabilia. Both are dedicated to their subjects and sometimes socially awkward. The distinction is that geeks are fans of their subjects and nerds are practitioners of their subjects. So,
All right. Well, what
Just
about a
throwing that out
LARPer?
there.
What about a LARPer? Would you call a LARPer a nerd or a geek?
I would call a LARPer a geek.
I'd call them a. Never mind.
And for those who don't know what a LARPer is, can you define that for us, Abe?
It's a live action role playing person
Yes.
that doesn't really do live action role playing. So they might dress up like a comic book superhero, but they won't attempt to fly by jumping off of a building.
Right.
It's kind of a good thing.
Or they might do like fantasy stuff, like
Oh.
Dungeons and Dragons. Like they might actually play Dungeons. They act it out. You know what I mean? Like show up.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
was about to comment on that, T.O. WECB 640 said those that can nerd, those that can't geek.
That's pretty good.
That's Hollywood.
Yeah. So
for
when
you.
Hollywood.
when I go back to think of when I was in the 80s and we had nerds in my high school, they were the ones. It's so terrible, right? They were the ones that were actually in the ham radio, not CB. They're into computers and stuff like that. And they were the ones who were into electronics. All the shit that I do now all the time. At that time, I'll be like, long time for that.
So you've been a nerd forever?
No, I didn't. I mean,
He converted to a nerd later in life.
Right.
yeah, I was in the computers back then. I would openly admit to
Were
that.
you in the computer club?
No.
That's precious.
So
I
you know,
played chess. I
Bless your
played
heart.
chess. If you
I was in a
kind of
band,
think that
so
I was in the band.
Band Geek.
people can relate to both sides because, of course, like I even tweeted it, we're collectors. We're collectors who really want to be minimalists. So we are people who love having lots of radios. So
Yeah,
by
that's the hard
definition,
part.
that would make us geeks. But then I think about a true nerd in ham radio. I think of people like N6ARA or N6ARK who are like, they're out there building their own stuff, right? They're like, let me see if I can do this. I know the concepts. I want to be able to apply it, and then they come out with these things that people want to buy on Amazon. So, I mean, it's just the application of it. If I compare myself to like K6ARK in terms of knowledge, I'm like, there's no way I'm a geek.
he's
I
got a
don't
better
know
beard
enough
than
to-
you do.
That's true.
So, Jim, since this is on your channel, tell me what instrument you played in the band when you were a band geek. I'm sure it was some type of wood.
A woodwind.
No, that was what your mom played.
He's a trumpeter.
I was just say,
We're going there.
You teed that up, son, so bad. I couldn't help it,
did.
man. It was
did.
sitting
Just
there
gone
slow and fat. I'm like, that some bitch going out to park.
Slow and fat like your mom. Are we back on that again?
Wouldn't be the first time, right?
Right?
That you're back on.
Oh, trumpet,
I would say I thought a trombone.
I think he was blowing something.
I
trumpet,
said trumpet.
trumpet.
I guessed it.
Hey, if I could go back in time, I would have made my kids play the French horn. Like my neighbor across the street, his
Oh
kid
God,
played the French
jeez, no,
horn.
not those guys. Those are the
French
mutants.
horns.
I'm telling you, and his kid got scholarship offers to colleges all over the place because there's nobody playing the French
Nobody
horn anymore.
plays it.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's
So
exactly
you don't even
why
have
they
to
get
be
the
good.
scholarship. It's like nobody wants to
Yeah,
play
they
that
have to
instrument.
have.
Dot
It's
the
like
I
a
on the
federal
marching
law.
band.
We've got to have 3 French horn players to maintain our grant status.
Yeah, because some
Do you
old
breathe?
person-
Will you play a French horn? Okay.
No, but
Yeah.
I wish I
were you folks band nerds? I wasn't.
I
but
was.
I mean,
played
I was in
instruments.
Sinister Minister. If that's what you mean by band nerd. But,
Jazz band, marching band, show band.
I didn't do jazz band. I did marching band and regular band, symphonic band, or what do you want to call it?
I don't.
I
We
could-
had
I could see Chuck
band.
marching.
we had jazz band, marching band, and then we had a choral group. They sang and danced, right? So it was the '70s. So it was like a lot of Abitunes and stuff. And we had those of us who actually could play really well played in the band with them. Also, so whatever the hell they call that, swing
Right.
choir. That's
And
it.
for VKF, it counts. It does.
Yes.
Hold on a second.
I can play piano too, but it was kind of hard to march with that sucker.
Yeah.
Was.
You know, one of the best things, guitar would be a good one because then you could take
Right.
it camping or anywhere you wanted to go, right?
I just tested the YouTube site on my headphones and turned off the stream there,
Oh.
and we sound fine. So I don't know why people are saying it's so quiet.
It is because Ape's talking with the mood
Apes
on.
muted.
I'm sorry, I was laughing and I didn't want it to go over.
Hey, what
sure
were
you're
you
playing
What
the
were you
trombone.
laughing about?
Nice.
Share that with us.
I don't live through it.
Did you toot? I mean, was it,
No, I mean, sitting there playing jazz band. Come on, man. What, jazz band
Jazz
for
band.
real?
Jazz band was cool.
jazz
And
band
you didn't
was
like
cool.
my jazz music. That's why you're trying to cover up some PTSD from high school. All the girls rejected you for playing the
Because
jazz.
I wasn't in the jazz band.
Dude.
I don't even know if we had a jazz
No, man, we had rifle twirling girls and flag twirling girls. Ain't no problem there. Mm-mm.
Yeah, they were like, we can't wait to meet a trumpet player.
Right?
Show me what
Some
you can do
in
with
the
those
chat
3
here,
fingers, Jim.
We had some clarinet players.
If the back of this bus is rocking, don't come and knocking.
We had some Oh, Red Summit RF played trumpet in jazz band.
Oh, did he?
Excellent.
I think a lot of hams were in the band. To tell you the truth.
Ron is drums. Yeah. Richard is
I
a
was
trombone
drums.
player.
C, harmonica is where it's at.
Harmonica's awesome.
Actually,
And
that's an
five
easy
was
one to take
tuba
with
and
you,
bass
too.
trombone.
Right in the pocket.
Nice.
Playing piano would be cool, I think.
I didn't play any of these. I played piano.
Which musical instrument makes the best ham radio antenna?
That could be a
So-
video.
It's the piano wire.
I
right?
think the trombone might have a
String, all that
chance
stuff,
there.
too.
Piano is the first thing that comes to mind because of all the wire you got, but
Yeah.
maybe you can tune up a saxophone or something.
Somebody told me that the antennas, those what the signal sticks or whatever they are made out of piano wire.
Hmm. Okay.
I have no idea if that's true or not, but that's what somebody
It's
told me.
nitinol?
That's not
like
out
that?
of the realm of possibility. What, Tio?
I think it's called nitinol, something like that is the wire for the signal sticks.
Niconel? Niconel?
It's NIT.
NIT?
NIT.
That
me
sounds
bring
like
it up.
something for guitar strings as well. I can't remember for sure.
It's probably just a heavy gauge guitar string, but isn't there like a solid core, and then it has a coil wrapped around it?
I don't know. Lon said Inconel.
Nitinol, nitinol.
Never heard of it.
Somebody's gonna have to Google that.
Pre-trained
Just did.
wire.
Pretty well.
Somebody else besides me. Chuck, you've got kids, right? You know, if you tell your kid something, you have to wait for somebody else to tell them before they believe it.
Right.
Of course you do.
Pretty
My
much.
kids are all grown up now, but yeah, you know that does go true though because I've got grandkids and they listen to me.
Mike, I see what you did there. That's good.
There,
So
nice.
Ron Walensky in AWCR says that they say musicians are good at CW, which I would have to say,
Who is that?
based on Cade MRD's keying, he's a very good sender, and he's good at guitar. He says it's like notes. It's just how he knows
I think the
how the
drums,
spacing
rhythm.
should be.
I played the
It's
drums.
the same
I think
note.
It does help with the rhythm, but it's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
but I can't.
And if you ever
decipher
watched,
that.
what's his name down in New Zealand? I'm blanking here.
Chris, Radio Runner.
Radio Runner.
Yeah, Radio Runner. And
Z01RA.
he did his guitar CW video. And if you ever saw that, that was hilarious. But that was
Well, I think
that
he's
was
good at
very
CW
sending.
in the field because he's always up on those mountains where it's like super cold. You know what I mean? He's like
You
shivering.
got to get down quick.
That's
Gotta
right.
move fast.
He lets the force take over when you get up there in that cold.
So there's a lot of ex-band players here in the chat. So
Yeah, a lot
So-
of nerds.
Ham's represented in the,
Let's
in the
talk
band.
about the Star Wars people, right? We talk about nerds. So, what about people who are Star Wars enthusiasts into their 40s?
Geeks.
Oh,
Well, they're
That's
the
a-
originals.
that's a geek.
They were in line at 2 years old, waiting to see the original movie.
When I was a kid and I loved Star Wars and I had the action figures and I had the model Dagobah system and I had a Millennium Falcon and all that kind of stuff.
And I had
Millennium
no,
Falcon?
no
What?
girls would talk
yeah,
to you, right?
Millennium Falcon is what we. Dude, I was like 8, and we
Okay.
we went to
What's your
Disney.
point?
We went to Disney last year, and they have like a human-sized Millennium Falcon. Is it Millennium
cool.
Falcon? 'Cause
Millennium.
Yes.
It's millennial.
We
I'm
called it
kidding.
Millennium.
Not Millennium
We called it the
Falcon.
Millennium Falcon. And when I walked up to it, I remember sitting there being a kid, and I'm thinking to myself when I was a kid, I was like, man, I thought when I was an adult we'd be flying around in these things, and this is awesome, and this is really cool. And
I'm waiting for flying cars.
but I wasn't like, hey, I got to get a selfie in front of this. I got to tell my buddies that I saw, you know. And there were other people there who looked like they were going to weep, you know, because they saw the life-size, human-size Millennial Falcon.
And those are the
Those
people
your-
who
those
cosplay
are your
as.
geeks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They're
Now, if you
super
could dress up
fans
like-
of the world of Star Wars.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I still will watch the movies and stuff like that, but I don't dress like Han Solo on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm just like Han Solo every
bet.
day.
right. You dress like Princess Leia?
Yeah.
I do.
Okay, all right. I'm not judging you, Steve.
I don't wear a bra.
Oh,
There's no bras in space.
that's right. So
Space is fake.
There's no gravity there, right?
space is fake. That's right. Abe
There we
called
go.
that one. Can't have space.
There we
That's
go.
that's what I'm here for is the ape conspiracy theories.
Well, there's a few.
There's more than one.
No, they're not theories.
Right, they're not
At least in
They're-
his mind. In
They're
his
true
mind, yeah.
theories.
Abe,
They're true
I've been
facts.
watching this. I've been watching this guy that builds campers, and you love the back door of his older campers. He had the Bigfoot on the back of it that he carved out. It was pretty cool. I'll have to show it to you one of these days.
When you take into account how many Bigfoot sightings there are every year all over the nation, I mean, there's got to be something to it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I have something that you have to handle.
Besides the
You've got to
nation.
deal with this.
No.
If all the Bigfoot sightings mean that Bigfoot must be real, then all the UFO sightings mean that the UFOs must be real. Which means that space ain't fake. You shut up.
What that means is you don't understand unidentified aerial phenomena the way I do. There is absolutely 100% UFOs, whereas today's modern skeptic calls it unidentified aerial phenomena. They are time machines. The humans
ready
are
to
coming
pee?
back on to observe ourselves. Similarly to the way we go and dig in the desert and we find layers of mud and say, oh, well, you can tell that a civilization lived here because look at these broken clay pots that I made as I was carving the sand out. It's the exact same thing. These are just futuristic humans that are time traveling back to understand where they came from.
So what you're saying is we actually made it
Yeah.
yes,
because we had to get to the future in order to come back.
Through
Well, that's what this
space.
is all about. That's
Through
what it's all
space.
about, Tio. The 1%ers made it.
Through space.
We didn't, regular folks. The 1%ers.
Because you know the
and
Earth is
elitists.
the Earth is
Illuminati.
moving, right? If space was
Like a
fake,
record.
then
Like a record. And I didn't look. You don't need to go to space to time travel.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
he's
don't
got
buy
an
that.
explanation for
I
everything.
just- he does. He does.
And,
It's just science. It's just science.
All right, throw a 1 in the chat if you're this kind of nerd, and if you're not this kind of nerd, throw a 2 in the chat, I guess, or
Jim's
whatever.
got that lazy Vulcan
Oh,
sign.
was
going
that
on.
what
You
he was
can
doing?
I can do
barely
it.
tell.
I can do it better
he
with
was
this
giving-
one.
I thought he was giving me the L thing over his head there first.
No, I didn't do that, Chuck. I did.
It looked like it.
It's hard. The
Yes,
pinky
Everyone,
finger.
those things.
everyone
The
throw
pinky
your
finger
spots up.
things.
Come
Look
on,
at
throw your
Dennis.
spots up.
Dennis is like a fake Vulcan for reals, man.
Throw
See,
your
but
spots up,
I thought
everyone.
that was the nanu sign.
No, it was. Oh my God.
It
That's
is
what
the nano
more
nano
for more.
sign.
It's nanu.
Oh, he did like
It actually is, I think.
Shazbot
No,
or
he did.
something.
He
I
was
don't know
saying
what he
nanu.
did. No, he
think it
did
was.
not.
Yeah,
He did
Google it.
Shazbot also.
He did Shaz. He didn't do the Vulcan thing with
I
Nanu.
completely forgot what he did, but yes.
I did too. I remember Nanu, and Shazbot. But see, I see a whole lot more 1s than I see 2s. Cape Cod, good call there. Yeah, Van Halen rocks, man. That's right.
Yeah, Van Halen's awesome.
You're all right.
I
Greatest
mean,
guitar player ever was in Van Halen.
What type of guitar
Yeah,
player, though? That's
yeah.
not true.
Good.
I mean, no. Are you talking bass or guitar?
Eddie.
I mean,
Well,
you don't
bass,
call it bass?
bass player is somebody who wasn't good at rhythm guitar. Guy at rhythm guitar,
Right.
somebody who wasn't good at
Oh,
lead.
It's the
okay.
Earth
Everybody
squared.
understands the
Glenn
social
asked.
hierarchy of that.
Because I had a kid that worked for me that's known as the best bass guitarist in the world. Just saying.
It was a
Oh,
guy
that's-
from
that's
Lester.
a bold statement.
Les Claypool, right?
No, he is. He was too good for, supposedly too good for Metallica. He just grew up right next to me here, next door.
Interesting.
He used
So,
to, actually, as a teenager, he worked for me in a gas station that I managed.
What's his name?
Les
Les
Claypool?
Claypool.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Primus? Heard of
Didn't he
Primus?
didn't he do Black Betty?
No, that was Ram Jam.
What do we say?
Are you sure about that?
The band? Yeah, that was Ram Jam.
I think he was in that though.
Loretta's got a
Google.
big brown beaver or something like that.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
Okay.
I can be
So-
I-
Red
Abe-
Summit says Mork did the Spock thing. I did not remember that, but I
He
will
did.
believe you, Red.
See, I thought you
Abe?
were into sci-fi.
I am into sci-fi, not Mork
Obviously
from
not.
Dork. I mean,
Mork
Orc or
from
whatever
Orc.
that
Mork.
was.
Was
Wow.
sci-fi.
Pam Dauber.
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Mark
Oh,
Harmon.
now he's with you.
That's Mrs. Harmon. She's married
So-
to the NCIS guy, I think.
Yeah. So I've been trying to say this for a minute now. The Sasquatch thing is totally real because there is a name for Sasquatch in every single culture in all of their history. That's where you get Yeti from. It's not like an Americanization of some strange word. Yeti's another word from
Right.
another culture that has seen the beast. And then there's one called Ulma, which I believe is from like Asiatic Russian area or something like that.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but then the South Asia is Orang Pandek,
Right?
and then the southeast of the United States they call it a skunk ape. So you can see how education system works down there. But anyhow, you're right. And the American Indians would carve them into things like totem poles and stuff like that, the way they would hoot owls and moose and beavers and all that.
Totally
kind of
real.
stuff. Proven.
So this everyone you are witnessing is nerd talk right here.
Right here. So
Every
if
Thursday
this
night.
if every culture has a name for it, how come ain't nobody ever seen it? I
Well, no,
along
lots of
with
people
all
have
the
seen it, is what we're
Oh,
saying.
lots of people say
Apparently
Just
they
that
all
you
have-
haven't seen it.
apparently they all have flip phones from 1987.
no.
Listen,
Ain't
if you
nobody
saw
got an
Bigfoot,
iPhone to take a picture of it?
You'd be
The
like,
same people who see the Bigfoot,
Oh, it's a
the same
Bigfoot.
people who
The
see
thing
the
is you're
Bigfoot
overcome.
are the ones who take pictures of the Loch Ness monster and all the UASs or UAPs, or I'm going to call it
I
UFOs
believe
because
it
I'm
all.
old.
Why wouldn't there be a Loch Ness
It's all
monster?
shaky cam. Oh, did you steal your dad's VHS camera from 1994? Because
they
it
get
looks
over-
like it
they become
used the
overcome
tape from 94 too.
emotion. They can become overcome with emotion.
So any of you boys seen the 10-foot long USB cables they have at the gas station now?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
If you can
that
get
seems
one that
legitimate.
if you
got
can
one.
get one that does data, you can do this with it.
What?
Look at that. It doesn't work.
That is a
I
thing
don't know.
that should not.
I just
be
built
seen.
it. While
Did
we
you
were
put
doing
that
the
around a
stream.
roid?
just now?
Is that around a
Yeah,
toroid?
it's a 240.
Yeah.
240.
The USB transformer. Great.
Oh my
Yep.
God.
I'm
That
a
is a good
choke.
idea.
I'm a choke.
Gonna hook it to his next antenna.
Tio
I
gonna
was
at
have
the
to choke a
hardware
The
roid.
next time you charge your phone, you're like broadcasting on 20 meters or something.
Probably. Yeah.
My,
was at the
I was talking to
hardware
Ape
store.
earlier today. My 705 doesn't do FT8 anywhere except for the house, and this is the first day I've used it at the house.
The monster still owes me $350. $350.
I'm saying that at the hardware store they have DeWalt cords like that.
Oh,
These
nice.
are yellow, it's the exact same quality,
DeWalt.
just yellow and black.
Yeah, you pay more.
So did we land on the moon? 8?
No, we can't. There's something I believe it's called the Karen belt. I might be mistaken about that.
The Van
That we
Allen
can't. That we
It's
can't.
the Carmen
pass.
line, is what you're.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what it is. The Carmen line. Karen belt. You get me confused. And
Well, I don't like you that way.
they talk
Abe.
about
I
all
mean,
the time about how humans can't get past that, but we would have had to get past that to land on the moon. And Tio's
Yeah.
actually seen the set for this. It's down.
I have.
It's
It's at the Space Center at
yeah,
the Huntsville
in
Space Center.
Huntsville.
I mean, shoot, we didn't have. I mean, I don't even know if color TV was out then.
I don't. You
Or
keep
barely.
saying that. I don't think that means what you think it means.
What?
The Carmen line. So you're saying that we can't get past the Carmen line?
There's some radiation line up there. You get me all confused with your fancy space talk, but the humans can't get past because the radiation from the sun, they said, would cook them. And there's even people from NASA who've been accidentally slipped in public and mentioned it. But the other one is take a look at some of the so-called evidence. What wind was blowing that flag? If allegedly
There's no
there's no wind in
there.
space. Right.
I know.
Explain that, Jim.
The
Fancy
shadows,
Star
the
Trek
shadows
fan.
too. Right?
There's no gravity. They just pulled the flag out and let it sit there. They had to make
And-
it straight, and then it stayed because there's no wind.
And then so they said that like when they have these suits on, they're like those deep water suits they used to wear back in the 1800s, and they can't, but they have no movement. They're looking up, and the cameras are taped to their chest, but they just happen to get all them pictures right in the crosshairs that you can see. There's crosshairs etched onto the lenses, and they're like, oh, how do they get all these perfect pictures? I'm just saying the jury's still out. I believe that we faked that in an effort to show Russia that we were a greater superpower than them in the race to the moon.
That's right. I think
Possibly.
you're right.
Buzz
We
Aldrin
are
was not what you
greater than
thought.
the Russians. That's
So
right. But
why haven't we gone back? Now I know that
Been there once. Why go twice? Right?
I know that the Republicans know there's water up there to pollute, so I don't understand.
Been there, done that. We already did it.
There's no oil.
I don't know. There's
We
no,
already
Yeah, there's
been there
no
once.
oil.
why haven't we been back yet? So,
Okay, so let me share this out real quick.
Jesus.
Uh-oh. He's sharing it out.
Okay, so this is the U.S. Space and Rocketry Center in Huntsville, Alabama, and you can see this is where the Saturn V rocket is. You can see the great big shadow of the Saturn V rocket crossing the highway. The Davidson Center for Space Exploration, they've got an Apollo booster rocket laying on its side that you can look at. But if you look over here at this little circular area and you zoom in on it, what's that starting to look like to you folks?
It's like the moon.
Looking awfully moony.
Oh.
Kubrick. That's
And
his
you can
name,
just
Stanley
walk right up
Kubrick.
there. You can just walk right up there, and you can put your hands on the lunar lander. You can act like
Bounce
you.
around.
That's a
were Neil
recreation.
Armstrong.
That's a recreation.
I'm saying this
No.
is the original.
That's
Stanley
original.
Kubrick. It was the producer of that movie.
The only people who would think something like that think VNA is a real test equipment. Nano VNA is a real test
It
equipment.
is real test equipment.
I mean, if you broke,
If you broke,
Nano VNA is awesome, man.
I mean, it's okay.
It's
You know,
awesome.
if you got your choice between that and a matchbox. I mean,
Only somebody
yeah.
that spent their entire life savings on a real VNA would complain that the Nano VNA is fake.
I don't
Right.
have a real VNA. I don't make that kind of cash.
Are you VNA
I-
shaming?
I am not Pablo Escobar. I
One
do
of these
not
days,
have a
he's
real VNA.
one of these guys who opened it up and was like, "Holy smokes, there's a whole lot of stuff here. I'm putting it back in the box, and I'm going to shame people who use it." That's what he's
Well,
doing.
I got to confess. I mean,
I don't
if
trust him.
I have a choice between my Rig Expert AA600
It's because you don't know
Nano
something.
VNA, I always reach for that one.
That one.
the Rig Expert.
Yep, same here.
The
I have an
Nano
AA
VNA
1400.
is right there. It's
You
ready
want the
for
easy
use, and
way
I just-
out.
and it's just so much better.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you,
Absolutely.
the one that I just did the video on, the SA4401A, that I don't for the life of me understand why anybody would choose a Rig Expert over that thing. It's cheaper. It goes to 4.4 gigahertz. You can do through
How much was
measurements.
Gigahertz.
it's like $600, wasn't it?
So is
For now,
400,
it's
I think.
$600. But how much is a Rig Expert?
Buy a
400?
Comet, man. My Comet was like $400.
Yeah, your comment.
It does
We're
everything.
talking
Junk.
about real antenna analyzers.
Yeah, that's a Rig Expert. That's right.
Next thing
Yeah,
you're
no,
going to
but
say,
the thing is,
Yaesu
you got
makes a
yours
good
for
radio.
$400. You
Yeah.
on clearance.
What's
You
wrong
got
with
yours
that?
on clearance on discount.
It's an
They're
AA
trying to move-
1400.
they're
It goes to
trying
1.4 gigawatts, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
but they were trying to
and
free up the
I'm
shelf.
gonna be honest. How many
They
times
couldn't
you got to
sell that.
test things at 4.4 gigawatts, right?
doesn't
Zero
matter. It
point
could be that one
zero
life and death
zero.
situation
I mean,
that I
in
need to do
Fortran,
it.
0 dot.
MCOM.
Oh my lord!
Nope.
Is it in your
And
Go box?
Doesn't the VNA? Doesn't the? He sleeps with it under his pillow. He told me that
No,
the
I
other
do
night.
have one on the nightstand though. I do have
Is
a
that just in
nightstand
case
in case
anybody
it's
breaks
broken.
in? You can
He just
use it
loves
to
to
defend
do it.
yourself.
and I
or-
have to get an impedance reading.
Ape?
In
ISS
between
now.
dreams, he likes to look over at the Smith chart, and then he falls back asleep.
Marvin's
his
asking about
ceiling.
the ISS. You mean the International Low Earth Orbit Station? That's actually not in space. If you Google it, it ain't in space. So
It's past the Kármán line. The
I
Kármán
knew
line's
he had
about
an
100
answer.
clicks up.
No.
The
It's lower
ISS is
orbit.
past the Kármán line.
Listen, now you talking wrong about the Nano VNA.
Was that the F
Somebody's
word?
gonna have to. We're going to need one of those PBS fact checkers for Jim.
Was that the F word, Abe?
You're going to get a Facebook checker is probably what you're going to get.
Facebook checker.
And you know how accurate they are.
Don, we're just not going to be able to talk. We're not going to be able to be
See,
friends for the
and
next
you know,
half
I
hour.
have to be close to right about this because Don never agrees with me. Don and I have a infosec versus programmer thing going on. Yet Don agrees with me. The Nano VNA.
Listen, this is.
I mean, if you
100%.
can't afford a pop can with some wire, then you could use a Nano VNA.
He's doing some Sun Tzu.
How many
Where
rig
the-
experts do you have, Jim?
One.
How many Nano VNAs do you have, Ape?
Like 7.
Somebody
there you
has
go.
an issue.
That's because he keeps
I don't
giving them
even
out.
know. I don't
He's
even
probably
know.
had 20.
Somebody has an issue.
All you need is one Rig Expert.
That's right. I mean, I'm good,
All you need is
man.
one Nano VNA. You
For a
don't-
bunch
you
of
don't-
we-
measurements you don't even
We
know.
we each have a rig expert. We're fine. We don't
Yeah.
use
Well,
it.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I did only want one Nano VNA, but I ended up buying 3 because 2 of them weren't the right one apparently.
Or broke.
And yeah, the firmware was wrong, wouldn't update. I had to
Got
get
fakes.
like a legit one I had to find the right seller to get
See,
the
you
right
can't
one.
compare a counterfeit Nano VNA to a legitimate rig.
I'm just
expert.
saying, the
Right.
common ham is going to say, "Oh yeah, I want to try this Nano
Common ham.
VNA,"
Did you just call me
and then
common?
they just anyone, right? Any
Common ham.
person
Not you. You're special.
Okay, that's better.
Googles and Nano VNA, they end up on some eBay listing. They end up with a counterfeit.
Yep.
It's so
Every
easy to
time.
end up with a counterfeit. There's very
Every
hard to get
damn
a.
time.
Although I
Counterfeit
will
rig
say,
expert.
Ape gets regularly. He will tell everybody to go to R&L to get it. And
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
He
as
does.
Steve and I have said it too. If you're going to buy one,
So how much is it in RNL?
$60.
So I looked it up today. 54.95 for the
Yeah.
H type.
So a person who
That's
would
not
buy
bad.
a nano
That's not
VNA,
terrible.
they're like, okay, this thing's cheap. Let's see how cheap I can get it. They go on
Well,
eBay, they get it for $35,
But that's
and then they
them.
complain how it sucks, right?
Right, but that's them, not the Nano VNA. I guarantee that everything that they buy goes through that exact same conversation about how it's a piece of junk because they got everything. It's like me complaining about my little teeny meter off of AliExpress. I can't read that. You know,
We're not judging you by size, man. It's okay. I mean, some of us got little teeny meters. I mean,
Look,
I
you
don't,
want-
but
you want a big meter.
I mean, that's moderate.
I don't know.
Hell, I thought we were going to talk about shit tops the whole evening, and this is
Well,
we haven't even got
we
to
can talk about
those
chip
yet.
tops. I thought
Let's
we were
talk about
talking
chip
about
top.
abnormalities like nerds, geeks, netbeards,
Yeah,
bronies.
that we kind of got
Larpers.
off that topic, but here's my shit top right here.
That is
Mine's in my-
outstanding.
See who's got on the
Bag
top
upstairs.
there. Top middle.
Mine is still protected.
I have not put all the stickers on mine yet. I have
Is that crappy one?
It is not crappy. It is ultra budget, Chuck. Ultra budget.
The thing is that for whatever reason, this laptop
That's a
is the
big
only
stir.
thing. Like, so
Oh, yeah.
I had people legitimately giving me grief in the video comments, and I'm like,
You
people
stirred up a
complain
hornet's
about-
nest of
I'm
flying
like, but
turds.
These people complain about cheap Chinese electronics all effing day on every bit of social media, but this one, oh no, this is not cheap Chinese electronics. I mean, you got to be smoking some
It
serious
probably is,
something,
isn't it? Or is it
some serious
Taiwan?
chemicals.
Oh, it
So,
is.
hey, Ape, did you did you return the ones you had and get the
Yeah.
LTE versions or what?
No, I still have them. Like I said, the one is in my work bag, and I use it as a backup laptop. I play around with it. I mean, I don't have an aversion to cheap technology, and I don't have a problem with low quality laptops
Good.
and stuff like that. I actually like the laptop. I guess my point is that I'm just
It ain't
it's
all that
piece-
in a biscuit.
It's a piece of shit. And
Well, I mean, no, the gist I got out of that commentary you had in the last, not the last one, but the other Coffee and Ham radios was that you were saying, what is this? It's 3 different models. We're getting ripped off. So I was thinking you had buyer's remorse or something. You'd go and return them and try to find.
Oh,
the
he's always
LTE
got
version.
buyer's remorse. Always.
well, I do have buyer's remorse. No, I'm fine with it.
You catch Ape late at night though, like 10:30 or 11,
Somebody
after he may have had a
buying
Miller
stuff.
Liter 5.
18? Like an
You can get him to buy some shit. Mhm.
Yeah. No, it's not that. What my thing is that there are 3 different models that were out there.
Yeah.
It literally took me 15 minutes to find that out. Now, where I was foolish is that I went and I bought a bunch of them. I got a bunch. I had a buddy who's like, "Hey, I can make a run and get you these laptops if you want." I said, "Sure." I said, "Give me. I'll take. I think I got 5." I said, "So because other people wanted them," and so I said, "Yeah, go ahead and grab them." Then, while I was waiting for them to get here, I started to do some research, and within 15 minutes, I found out about the Linux problems. And then maybe another 15 minutes, I found out there were 3 different models. And then that's what turned me on to oh shit, there's the SATA drive's not there, and all of these things started to compound. And I was sitting there thinking about laptop getting this much PR in the ham sphere space, right? So there were some videos that were real popular, tons and tons of people on Twitter posting, "Hey, look at me, I just got one." And I don't have any problem with any of that kind of stuff. But I'm like, these things are. What people are saying to me is that, hey, not all of us can afford good laptops. Totally get it and totally agree. That's why your decision needs to be as informed as possible. And my point is that I'm going to probably be ultra amplified in my opinion of this laptop because I feel that people could hear a little bit more facts about it than they're currently.
Yeah, the first couple of videos I watched on it was, of course, Hoshnasi and Ria, right? And
Right.
they and Ria went further and talked about taking out this card. And I'm like thinking, how much could I sell that card for on eBay or something?
Right.
Right.
So
$40.
Jason, K8TSG, over out, I think in Ohio, he posted on Twitter that he found a Micro Center that had, 1 million of those. So I was like, hey man, could you pick me up one? I'll pay for shipping and Jason handling fee, whatever you want to charge. But I want to get one of those and try it out. And he sent me it, and that's when I watched the stream right before I got it.
Then you had buyer's remorse, didn't you?
And Abe's sitting there talking so much smack about it because he says the LTE card's missing, and I was like, oh, maybe I got one of those. So I hopped on the Toads and said, yeah, let me find out if I got the 8 version or the RIA version, and it turns out I got the 8 version. So
See,
I didn't feel ripped off or anything. I thought, well, I wasn't going to use it, and I wasn't going to install an SD card, but it does kind of suck that you see this version out there that people are talking about, and suddenly it's missing something.
SKT scored one for me, and we both got the non-LTE version. We got the Model 3, version 3. Is that the one you said, Abe?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is like in Hash's video, like I've zero problem. I have zero problem with the video or what he said. Everybody's like, you're being mean to Hash. He's used the word turd to describe the laptop. He goes, hey, keep in perspective, it's a $50 laptop. It's a piece of junk. It's a turd. That's what he said.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
And so I guess because I said shit.
Laptop.
But the HRCC
So what is it?
faithful
Is it
rose
the
up.
greatest?
There
Is
were
it the
people
greatest
trying
or
to find
turd?
Abe's house with pitchforks and torches, man.
Right.
And you
Walking to
wonder why he
Nebraska
doesn't give his
to-
government name.
That's right.
It was like Shrek when they tried to get Shrek out of the swamp.
Hey, I just want to know, can I run my new Flex on it? My new Flex 6400, will it run that?
You sure
Right.
can, Chuck. It'll go up in
Probably
flames.
will.
But
Bless your
Probably
heart.
will run that. Yeah.
It must be
Like,
the best
because,
one
like,
ever then.
When you say
know
this
what
is
Abe's
a
talking
good
about.
radio for this is good laptop for ham radio, what does that mean? Like, am I going to be able to model antennas on there? Is it going to run the NEC engine just fine?
Well, see, I have the same. Okay, this is a whole different topic, but I have the same problem with people who say this is a great laptop to run Linux on, as if to say Linux deserves the shittiest laptop ever, from 1980, and let me just run an old version of Linux on it, and basically that's great. I have a Linux laptop, and I used what I could afford in terms of the hardware for it, so that it runs as fast as possible, can process it the most as possible, and has the most memory and everything that I could throw at it. And I think it deserves that. I don't think ham radio deserves crappy laptops, but at the same time, I did need an extra laptop because I do demos sometimes. I need to have 2 different computers talking to each other, and I don't feel like buying two
I thought you were going to hit it
$2,000
with a
computers.
sledgehammer.
yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were going to hit it with a sledgehammer when you said demo.
I hadn't thought
had
to
a
bother
demo,
any.
Chuck.
I hadn't thought to ask anybody about scoring one of those until I remembered that SKT lived around a micro center. But I bought a cheap laptop from Amazon on Prime Day. It was like $150 and free Prime shipping. So it's marginally better than the shit top, the official shit top.
well,
But,
the thing is
I mean, it's a budget laptop, and it runs. What are you using it for? I'm putting every piece of CPS software I have on it, so it'll be radio programming. It's about all it's going to ever do.
Yeah.
I'm
Basically,
sorry, I
mine
cut
is
you
a
off.
WinLink terminal. That's what my laptop is. It's just it runs WinLink Express.
But see, like I think that a lot of folks are putting it into a very narrow perspective of, hey, it runs on 12 volts. I can run it in the field. It runs WSJTX. I can do digital modes. And, oh, by the way, my logger can run on it too. So you're looking at a very, very small use case. And we all know that ham radio is not that myopic. Because like when we start talking about, this is why you should be a ham. We have satellite chasers. We got DXers. We got, you start talking about all the things that ham encompasses. It's a lot, right? And if you really wanted to have a radio that was good for all of that type of ham radio stuff, or laptop that was good for all that ham radio stuff, you need a better machine.
There's that. If you're trying to do everything, right? Like right now, I don't have mine configured to talk to the 705. Right now, its sole purpose is it hooks into
Good
my
luck with that.
VHF man pack, and it sends WinLink emails, and possibly could do chat over Barra AC or something like that, or Barra chat, not Barra AC. Those, I started getting into the rabbit hole. I downloaded the wireless software for 705 and started thinking about all these different applications that I could be using. And I was like, okay, I got to stop because I'm not actually going to do this in the field.
Yeah,
I'm not.
I started
It's
to
not
do
the
the same
purpose
thing.
of why I bought this. I bought it because I needed a computer to go with my man pack for when I get deployed, and I need to send digital messages, basically.
So I made a new background just so everybody knows I'm not a.
Not a hater.
There we go.
Not a hater.
$59.99.
Well, you know, somebody just said it in there. Liberty said it. You can't buy Pi 4 just about. So
Yeah,
it could be
that's
an
another thing,
alternative to a Pi. Now,
Totally agree.
There's
and it's
some
all
things you could do.
Mike, get out of here.
It's in one unit too, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, but I got to tell you, I might be able to find it. I have an Asus laptop that I used to originally use for FT8, and it was one of these Celeron 4 gigabytes of RAM and a 64 gigabyte drive, almost the exact same laptop. And I had it years ago, and I mean, it's a nice single use machine, but they're not durable. Pi 4 is going to last you longer. I'm almost 100% of that.
And I would say Pi 400, because I've said this before. I did a whole video on it. Pi 400 is like a secret. You know, everybody bitches about they can't get a hold of Pi 4s. Son, you can go out to 20 different websites in the United States tonight and buy Pi 400s all day. And I said this in a video to be released Saturday. If I had my choice between a Pi 400 and the crap top for my mobile ham computer, it's a hard choice. I think I'd rather have the Pi 400. The downside to that is I got to schlep a monitor with it. The upside to the Maestro is I got a monitor.
I'm tired of. I'm the opposite,
$159.
Jim. I'm tired of finding a display for my damn Pi. You know.
Yeah, and that's a pain in the ass. That's absolutely right.
You know, Android phone, Android tablet, VNC. VNC is a piece of crap when you're trying to control a desktop. I'm sorry. And so this laptop, it fulfills a need. You just open it up, you got everything you need. The keyboard and the screen right there.
Yep.
It's like,
Don,
to me,
the
it's
Pi
no
400
brainer.
is $70. It's $10 more than the crap top.
It's $130.
Where are you buying a Pi 400 at, Chief?
Gigaparts, $129. The kit.
Okay.
That's
Don't-
Gigapart's price. That's
Yeah,
like
don't buy that from Gigaparts. You can get them from
Well,
$70 at
okay.
DigiKey right now.
DigiKey, no, it's $100 at DigiKey.
That's the kit. If you buy the plain machine, because you don't necessarily need the kit,
You don't need the keyboard?
it
Didn't
is
talk
the
about
keyboard.
You got a keyboard.
It
No.
is the
Oh.
keyboard.
It is the
He's
keyboard.
talking about the Pi
Chuck.
400.
The Pi 400
Talking
has
about
the
Pi 400,
keyboard built
that's
in.
what I'm looking at. I don't know anything about Pi, so
I know.
Other than
That's
Apple
okay.
Pie.
That's okay.
I
That's
like
okay.
Chuck's kind
Bless
of
your
pie,
heart.
apple pie.
Apple Pie is good. Yeah, the
Key
Pi
pie,
400 is
just not-
the
just
Pi
not your
400
kind of
is the
pie.
all-in-one thing, Chuck. It has the keyboard, but the computer is the keyboard. They're all together,
Yeah,
but it
$100.
doesn't have a monitor. So
No, there's no
That's how
monitor.
they
I don't
get you.
know. I mean, I really like KM4ACK's project. I think it's awesome, but
Yeah.
I simply don't use pies in the field. It's just
You know what?
There's too many
Dennis,
things hanging off
It's
of
like
it.
it's like you know, for me.
Don, you're right.
I'm with you, and I don't want to grab a Nano VNA to go test my antenna either. The same thing.
Well, the thing is that too many people bought into this thing, and
because you can't trust them, Chuck.
It's easy to buy into it, where it's like, hey, I'm basically going to go play Army, right? So I'm going to have my gear and equipment. I'm going to walk out into the woods. I'm going to set up a station, and I'm going to do all of this stuff. And I'm going to use solar panels, and I'm going to use Raspberry Pis, and I'm going to use all this latest technology, right? And you fantasize about being the apocalypse now communications guy at the end of the world, and it's fun and it's awesome and it's all that stuff. But I think people get to a point where they're like, you know what? I'm just going to buy the $50 crap top and go out there and operate and do the same thing without all the headache.
Yeah.
I did. I was buying Raspberry Pis and all that stuff. Did we run Chuck off?
I think so.
No, I think he went to get something. I don't know. Maybe he had to.
His Raspberry Pi collection.
Yeah, he's pulling up his. Oh, what's he got? What's he bringing?
He's got something.
What you got, Chuck?
Got to turn on your mic,
This-
Chuck. There you go.
Let me get sit down here, Jim. Come on, I'm old, man.
It's like playing cards with my brother's kids.
He's got his crap top.
This is it right here, man.
That's the
Chewy.
Chinese crap top. The
It's
Chewy.
chewy. It's a tablet. It's actually, but I have the keyboard for it.
It's got a hinge. It's a tablet with a hinge.
Look at that.
There you go.
And I'm glad I didn't buy the 7 or the 8-inch one or whatever it was, because I can barely read this one. But this one, you can charge it 12 volt too.
Right. So it's
It
not
runs
a new thing.
everything. Huh?
It's not the 12 volts is not a new thing.
No.
So
The
I have
guys were
a
making it out like it was. It's like, come on.
I have a Winlink
I've
station.
had this for 3 years.
There's a thing
that
called
is,
buck converter.
you know those little tiny PCs, the really small cube ones that have the USB
the
ports and
Nooks.
everything. They're
Yeah,
kind of like
Nooks.
Nooks, yeah, or Nook or that style. I have one of those running my Vara FM WinLink station, and then I decided after watching last Saturday's SDR stream on HRCC that I would resurrect my CW beacon or reverse beacon network station, and I didn't realize how CPU intensive that CW skimmer is. Like it just spins up 1,000 decoders if it needs to, and so man, that station, that little computer has the same specs as these crap tops, and it's really struggling right now. Like it's always
What computer is it?
it's like the Nook, the tiny PC version of what Chuck has there. the
Micro
Chewy.
ATX, something like that.
It's even smaller than that. It's
Oh, is
about
it the one that Josh has that he's always
it's
trying
the
to sell?
size of like
Something 500 or something like that.
a hockey puck almost. It's
If
really
only there
small.
was some way to share pictures with everybody.
Really,
Yeah.
Dennis?
Yeah. Well, listen, Don. I make all that stuff up about propagation in the ionosphere, and I just make that up to get views. Just for
There
the
you
record.
go.
Lon, they had them in stock this morning, man.
Oh, look at this. It's all sexy and red.
What is that?
It's a
That's a
computer.
Nook.
That's a
That's
Jin
a-
Fu.
It's the next
That's a
unit
full-
of computing.
It's a full
That's
Windows
That's
PC.
not the one that Josh tries to sell. Here's an Acer for $65. 16 gigabyte flash.
See, palm
Yeah,
size.
so I've totally maxed out that little computer. And
You know, I'm
so-
gonna get upset.
That's
Go
the
ahead.
thing. If
You're
you
gonna get upset.
if you get really ambitious with your crap top, you're gonna be disappointed. And it has to be purpose built for something that you want to do specifically, and you can't just be running like 50 apps on the thing and expect it to do everything.
I was going to do video rendering on it at a POTA.
Nice, good.
Well, so
One of these
thing with
statements, at least one of those statements, is
So,
BS.
Go for it. Shoot it.
here's the
The
thing:
thing
is
with
people,
the
these
crap
people
top-
take these crap tops out into the park so they can do digital POTA, but they're using KX2s and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you spending all
Right.
this money?
Yeah,
I will go with him on that one.
Hey,
All the
And-
money on
and-
this thing.
And
It's like you
the
get an
comment,
expensive AR and you put a through night flashlight on it. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
yeah.
You know,
well, you made the comment earlier about Ape. You said something about Ham saying, not everybody can afford a nice laptop. But you just made the point. You're on a KX2, you're on an ICOM 705,
hey,
or
705 is even worse.
or the poor
Right, you
ones
got a
and
giant
the poor people with an
solar
891, and you're running a 100 amp hour LifePo battery with solar panel. Come on, really?
right.
Drop the extra $100 and get a
I was,
laptop that's got something
was
that ain't a
actually-
Celeron in it.
seriously considering buying that really small laptop that Hosh had.
I've looked
I
at
think
it.
That's
costs
what I
like-
was talking about.
That $900 laptop that he has, it's like 7 inches.
It's called the Pocket.
Okay.
The Pocket
Yeah.
PC.
If
I
you
was
need
thinking
it, it's
Yeah,
on
about
the
that for a long time.
ITPOCKIT, yeah.
And I decided against it because I was like, really? There's
Dinner
really
time.
one purpose for this thing, and I don't think it justifies the cost. But then as soon as the $60 ham top came out, I was just like,
You're all
well,
over
I'd
it.
spend $60 to have that extra machine.
Well,
It's
it's
no
like
big
if you
deal.
order takeout for the family one night, right? I mean, it's the thing is, it's that cheap where it's almost a commodity, and that's where I was like, yeah, I'll buy one and play around with it, and I'll buy a second one in case I like it, and something happens to this one. I saw this. I saw a cartoon. It was like a ham radio cartoon. That's how nerdy I am. To get back on topic, and it was this guy talking to a woman. I think she's like a psychiatrist or something. He goes, "I need a reality check." And she's like, you have an ICOM 7610 and an end-fed half wave 10 feet off the ground.
Finish?
You know what I mean? It's like where people spend all this money on a radio, but then they have a seriously marginal antenna. And that's also kind of the thing
Yeah.
that I think you see with this crab top is that you have like somebody's got like $3,000 worth of gear for their portable manned mission to emergency MCOM communication dry run. and $50 of that gear.
Yeah, I won't say what I was
the
going to
crap.
say when you said crappy antenna.
It's the crap top.
Or they have a reflective vest and a
Starts
bow
with a C
thing.
too.
Hey, don't knock the reflective vest. And
I know how
bow
much
thing. That
reflective
happens
vests
a lot.
cost. I had to buy them for all of the guys at the
That happens a
department.
lot.
Mine was like $10. I bought one for
$129 official fire ones, Ape. Civilians can't buy these, man.
That's right.
Because you'd be insane to buy them. But
you'd pay a lot less.
You get one off of ARRL. I'm a huge fan of the league and a supporter of the league, and I think everybody should join. But come on, man. What are they doing selling emergency vests at the league? You know,
you're just enabling those people. The Larpers. I mean, the MCOM people.
The Larpers, right? The MCOM people. No offense, Dennis. I mean, that's just
we love you, Dennis. Right? MCOM is ham radio LARPing. Just saying. All right.
Yes.
So 45 Auto, do you like the new show format? Are you around for all of it, or just for Saturdays?
What is the hate? I guess the hate is the crop top.
I guess. I mean, I don't hate. See, that's the thing.
They misunderstood. Ape is misunderstood, and I got to agree with the man. He is misunderstood on this one. I think he's high on some of his other thoughts, but that's the Earth is round, like a melon. But he's getting he don't hate the laptop. He just recognizes it for what it is. But that made some butt hurt happen. I'm like, it's a cheap laptop. It's going to be a cheap laptop no matter what.
To talk about this Hubble telescope, not the Hubble, the Webb telescope. And
Webb telescope.
And then the thing is that when they show the real pictures that it takes, it looks like the cobwebs in the pantry. So somebody has to go through and highlight that and Photoshop it and add colors and luminescence and all this other stuff to make people, ooh, look at what that thing did. So anyhow, this guy, the scientist over in Europe, takes a picture of a chorizo slice, which is like a Spanish pepperoni.
I heard about this.
Yeah, I posted it in Fact or Fiction, and so all these people are like, "That is amazing! The colors on that. The billions of tax dollars are so worth it to put this James Webb." Like, these are educated peers. These are his scientist buddies that can't tell a damn pepperoni slice from a.
It was chorizo. Be fair, it was chorizo, not pepperoni.
Right, it was
good sausage.
An exotic pepperoni.
Chorizo gets all the stuff that doesn't go in everything else.
Oh man,
chorizo is like chef sausage, man.
Garbage. I can't wait. Red Summit RF is right.
The James Webb telescope scam.
Oh God, this is.
Charlie's
normally you people have to pay extra for this sort of thing, but here, we're giving it away, man.
Yeah, I want a telescope. I was going to buy one, and I even set a little budget aside for it. I started investigating it. And that's a slippery slope fast. Like, you think you get $100 and you could buy and look at the moon, you know what I mean? See if the flag's really up there. And all of a sudden we're like, well, you don't want that one. You want the one with the GPS, positional tracking that plugs into your laptop and the cable to plug into your laptop.
That's how they get
it's just like a
USB
familiar. Cable. Right. And then the next thing you know, you're looking at like $1,600. And so I was like,
what would you look at, Ape? Would you look
Nothing.
at
I want to see the strings. I want to see the
He wants
strings
that
holding all that stuff up there.
$15 one that he puts on the end of his camera.
The Oort cloud.
I want to see what they're doing up there.
That's not really what I want to see. That's the official story he's telling Mrs. Ape. That not necessarily what he's going to be looking at with that telescope.
Yeah, I bought a $36 drone off of AliExpress. So
that is quality right there.
Everybody would be like, I hate your face. You bought a cheap drone, but you buy a cheap laptop and nobody's upset about that shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, if you're a ham and you go out and you're like, you know what? I just want to put a drone up, see what happens, see if I can fly it.
Hey, Glenn.
You need to buy this $700 entry level drone.
Yeah.
But they can buy a $50 laptop just fine. I just don't.
I'm going to die on this hill.
That's a lot of what it is. Hey, while we're here, before we get off topic and another squirrel runs by, guys, I am so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I'd really appreciate it if y'all go subscribe with your wife's account, sketchy accounts you may have to throw down to hide from your wife, whatever.
Account, whatever.
Yeah, your government name account, your fake name account you gave your boss.
All the computers at work.
The ones that your kids have. We've crossed the watch hour threshold, and thank y'all, all y'all. That's Southern for yous guys, and that's Chicago for y'all. So we've crossed the 4,000 hour threshold, and I appreciate it. And we are so close to 1,000 subscribers.
Just do it.
That's right. Just do it.
Mike actually looked that one up. Look at that.
Yeah, so did I.
I did not know about the chorizo thing.
Well, you don't read fact or fiction, obviously, because it was very heavily.
No, because
discussed
mostly it's fiction in there, usually.
Dennis said
Alternative
it should be called
facts.
Fact
Yeah,
or fact.
alternative fact.
Fact or
I
fact.
was gonna say delusional ravings of a madman, but we'll go with alternative facts.
It's all news. It's all stuff that from the fake news.
If you look at the picture of the chorizo, it's an awfully lean looking picture. I mean, I was
it's pretty
expecting
lean for
more fat
chorizo.
in there.
Well, it's a
just,
I'd still eat it.
yeah, I'd
it's
eat
Spanish
it.
pepperoni.
Throw some
It
eggs
just seemed
in there.
very lean.
Oh, Marvin.
Yeah, the Bigfoot posts were real. I agree.
Well, you
That's right.
posted them.
So we have a guy at work that's constantly talking about science fiction, sci-fi, fantasy, space novels. And he's always like, "Hey, have you heard of this eclectic?"
Gotta pick
Why
that
you
out
have to
right
make
away.
that voice to talk about science fiction novels?
Because that's what it sounds like. And
Really?
That's
yeah,
the
and he's like,
sci-fi
this
nerd
guy,
voice.
this guy has been writing these books since the 70s. They're fantastic series on this female alien race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and I'm like, dude, I don't read that stuff. Stop coming in here and talking like that. You bother me. I'm gonna call the police.
Go away, son. You bother me. Go away.
No way.
And then he'll
you
come
bother.
I'll say, son.
A couple weeks later, he's like, I know you said you weren't into it, but I got to tell you, I'm in the guts of this book here. You know, and he's always talking about it. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I'm not going to read it. And he goes to me, well, do you read it all? Do you read it all? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course I read. I'm a regular person. And he's like, what do you read? And I'm like, well, I don't read that nerd stuff like that. And he's like, what's the last book that you read? And I was like, well, it was a manual for a multimeter. And he's like, what was a book that you read before that? And I was like, well, I was reading about reactance on antenna transmission lines.
Right?
All the stuff that I read, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh my God.
If I said to you, reach in your library and what book would you pull out? The ARL Handbook on Radio
Right,
Operations.
Right. Or something about batteries. And so I started realizing maybe there's not so much of a gap between.
That's some fake looking chorizo. They don't know what chorizo is.
It's
They
like
don't
a
have
Spanish.
That's what I was
It's like a
thinking.
Spanish pepperoni, right?
Dennis,
You know what else has
you've
changed?
gotten-
So,
you got
Dennis,
the
you're
Silva
saying-
stuff, right?
Yeah.
The Silva brand? Yeah.
Dennis, you're saying the usage, and Ape, you said this, the usage of nerd and geek has changed over the years, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hackers.
Well, that's
Hackers
changed, too.
now, hackers. I'm a hacker from forever ago, and it meant guys who mess with computers, period. Just messed on computers.
Well, back
And-
in the day, back in like what, the 90s, a hacker
In the
was
day,
a criminal.
so that's not
right?
back in the day.
A hacker was basically synonymous with a criminal back then, and then
It still
they
is
spent all
now,
this
yeah.
time trying to tell everyone, hey, it's someone who's just testing the limits of computers and experimenting. It's not bad. And now, I mean, I tell people I'm a hacker at work, and it's a kind of a mark of pride almost.
It is for me, yeah. It always has been
On a
for me.
watch list somewhere.
I probably am.
Well, it's changed, right? So like people at work will be like, I'm going to go home and hack on this.
I hacked on NASA, literally, truly. I did that thing.
You saw it here, folks.
Got paid. I got paid by NASA to do it to NASA.
Oh, okay.
What was funny was they didn't tell the people that I was doing it against, and they called my ISP and said, hey, this guy's scanning us, and my internet shut off in the middle of doing the job. That was awkward.
It would
So
be
what you're
good
saying
to
is you weren't
inform.
good at it.
They weren't paying me to be good at it. They were paying me to scan a bunch of rocket scientists, not to stealth in. I wasn't trying to stealth.
Yeah, typing some IP addresses in Rapid7 and hitting the start button ain't really hacking.
It wasn't Rapid 7, Cletus.
Well, whatever it was.
Rapid 7
It's
didn't
the same-
exist in the NASA days.
Right, it's the same thing, right?
Rapid.
If
Should we talk
for a
about
second,
your? Should we talk about your
came in
network
here
testing?
And I ran a penetration analysis, and I'm like, well, that's the only penetrating you're doing, son. I'm sure of that. Now,
That's not. Never mind.
Are you going to get off his mom finally?
I'm just saying.
Somebody's got to. She's gonna be worn out.
I'm just saying. These guys are like, I was strong. But then at the same time, they're like, I can't connect to your Wi-Fi. You sure you gave me the password? Yeah, I'm sure I gave you the right password, son.
Oh Lord. Jesus. Okay.
It's case sensitive.
Can't believe these guys.
The IP address is case sensitive. That's right, Chuck.
Yeah.
We got to get
Just
a
like your
clip
email address.
of Ape's sci-fi nerd voice. saying various things.
That would be good.
That same guy invited me to a party at his house. He's like, "Hey, boss, I was having a little shindig soiree style this weekend at the house. There's going to be some beer drinking. I thought I know you like a cold one, so maybe you want to come over and join the gang for a little reveille." And I'm like, "I don't know, man. Email me the details. I'll see what I can do. I'm real busy this weekend." And he's like, "It's going to be a lot of fun. Feel free to wear a costume."
What kind of freaky? What is it? A bunch of furry convention or something at your people's house?
That's the worst goes through my mind. I'm thinking bronies.
My radar just went off.
Yeah, really.
I was like, "Nah, I'm not. It's not happening." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not showing up at some costume sci-fi
Or a costume.
party where there's going to be trying to get you to drink mead. I think that was like, "We got some mead."
Why? There ain't no laws when you're drinking the claws, man. You be you, Ape.
I drank mead at a ham fest. That must be like crossing the nerd streams.
I don't really have a problem. You're drinking whatever it is you're drinking. Just
You've
have
made
fun with it.
mead before.
Yeah, and so I mean, I guess I'm okay with it, but I don't know where I start to have the problems like, we're going to dress up like medieval jesters and sit around and drinking mead and talk, talk about alien invasions. I'm not, I'm sorry.
Rick Moranis. Yeah, that's who you're talking about. That guy was
what did he do?
hysterical.
More anus?
No, not Uranus.
I said more anus. Moranis, Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
He's Canadian.
You're right.
How dare you?
Whatever. They're not all nice. I don't trust them. We've had that discussion last week.
I heard the other day that Ape doesn't even put the Canadians in his DMR stuff. He don't want to talk to them, is what I heard.
Who says Chuck doesn't watch Nuggets?
That's right. Chuck watched.
That wasn't Nuggets.
That wasn't Nuggets. That was Saturday.
That was
I do that
I was
all the
driving
time.
to the yurt, man. I couldn't
Yurt
believe you
man.
said it. Yeah, that's.
I do that all the time to try to get the Canadians riled up.
It's not possible.
I don't think you
There's
can.
only one that gets riled up, and I don't think he was there.
I'm sorry
not
you
sure
attempted
why.
to rile me up.
Well, you're not a Canadian. I mean, you're close to the border. You're on the front line.
One
I
step
identify
away.
as a Canadian.
Like when they
Steve.
when they try to come after us too, sooner or later, the Canadians are going to be like, "You know what? The Russians and the Chinese are onto something here. Let's
My-
we got
my
the north
coins-
border."
My coins have deer and loons on them, and maple leaves.
Yeah, Maple.
That's all I'm
Leafs are the
saying.
way to go.
I'm thinking Steve is our front line of defense when the Canadians do get sassy.
I'll get out my
Because they're gonna
my
have to come-
Balfang and my AR-10 and I'll be good to go.
Steve has an
I
AR-10.
think, I think they'll very politely invade.
That's right. Do you mind? We
Sorry about this, but we need to. invade.
we want something warmer, It's cold up here.
Well, their state troopers ride horses though, which is pretty badass. I give
It
them that.
is.
What?
I give them that.
Mounted police.
Like in Untouchables, right? Like when they were going to have the big bust.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the American FBI showed up in like Studebakers and stuff like that, and then the Canadians came rolling in on horses.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene. That was good. That was a good movie. One of
It was a
Costner's
good
few.
De Niro, I feel, stole the and Connery were the
Connery.
Connery rocked in it. Yeah. That's the Chicago way.
that's
Yes.
pretty good.
October.
Pretty good Sean Connery.
You guys like that one? The Red October? That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one.
We
I've
have
seen that movie so many times, Chuck. I know the
know, it's
Russian
on all the
parts.
time.
we have a
speak
table out
Russian
back
now.
that has an umbrella on it, and my wife always goes out there to put the umbrella up because she thinks it looks nice, but nobody goes out there and sits under because it's too damn hot. And then we get these thunderstorms, and I got to run out there and
Take it
hurry up
down
and take the
when it's
umbrella down.
windy.
So the other day I'm sitting there and just this wind like crazy starts blowing, and like you see stuff flying around, and trees looking like they're going to bust. And so I run outside to get the umbrella real quick because it's already had one break this summer. And so as I'm taking it down, like lightning is cracking, the wind is blowing like crazy, and my neighbor's tree starts to bend, and I watched it snap off. And this tree's probably 2.5 feet in diameter. It cracked off super duper loud, hit the ground. I could feel the ground shake. I thought I was in the quickening from the Highlander for a minute.
Really? There can be only one.
Sean Connery.
Which Highlander
that's
movie?
it.
The first one? The first one?
The Highlander. Well, the only Highlander movie.
Thank
as
you.
far as I'm
Yes.
Highlander.
Okay.
Yes.
You're
only
forgiven
one.
for
I'm like,
some
this
of the
is-
other crazy things right there. You're forgiven.
I
It's
was like,
okay.
I feel like Hunter McLeod of the Clan McLeod. You know what I mean? I was like, this. Now I get it.
That was too far, Ape.
I don't know. It was pretty scary though. I thought I was going to get lit up.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, it's like 10 after 8, and somebody said that
Bedtime.
not mine, maybe yours. There, it's probably still daylight at your house, ain't it, Steve?
Don mentioned
It is.
the HRCC digital net's about to happen. I don't know if that matters to
What?
this audience.
Is that on
Yeah,
YouTube,
daylight.
What?
or is
What
that
is
just
that?
they talk on the radio like a
I
net?
think it's the reflector net.
Okay.
When is that supposed to be, Don? Can you post in the chat? I always miss it.
What's he mean? The
Oh,
reflection?
Marvin Dreesen, that's exactly right. Better to burn out than to fade away. That was what the Kurgan said.
Yeah, he was a pretty good bad
death
guy.
by misadventure. I want to die face down in some dude's pool.
Yeah, it's a DMR net.
No, you
I
don't.
wonder
DMR
if Ethan
radio.
figured out how to cross mode DMR to all the other modes. Then I could join because all I got is D-Star over here.
We did.
Red, I got another hour of sunlight here, at least.
I thought
How
they
did
had
you
a.
settle on D-Star, Dennis? Speaking of nerds,
What's that?
We should talk
I said,
about
how
Ob
did you-
Radio. Yeah.
how did
Oh,
you
well,
settle on D-Star?
D-Star, I didn't even decide. It's just like I ended up with a THD74 and it had D-Star, and I was like, I guess that's the mode I picked.
Gotcha.
So-
Like I
invented
bought
D-Star?
the HT because I thought it was great, but I didn't.
It's
I
awesome.
didn't really know
radio.
a thing about digital modes until I started reading the manual. I was like, oh, it's got this mode called D-Star. Well, I wonder what I could do with that, and then went from there. But
Well, the Jerry
I
net, is that
tried my
D-Star
hand
or
at
is that-
the GD77. I love how Radioddity always has a GD. I always think, God damn it,
Goddamn
GD.
sentence.
Right.
Damn, 77.
But it was very frustrating experience for me. So
You
I did,
bastards, watch the swearing, okay?
I said GD77, and I sold that thing, or returned it actually. And
We hacksored our
But then you
GD77s
get the
and
GD88.
DM1801s.
yeah, people were talking about the GD88 now. I'm like, nah, I'll pass.
Came with a dead battery.
Oh my
charged it.
lord! It
It's
charges
11%
Chuck.
worse.
It should never come with a dead battery.
So
And then
there's a
Red-
question in the chat about
yeah,
JerryNet,
Red Summit-
Dennis.
Yeah, Red Summit RF asks, is JerryNet dead? You know, Red, why would you ask that? You're like the founding member of that, and you're going to
Isn't-
ask me if it's dead. You should not make it dead by not visiting. That's
How
my answer.
dare? How dare?
Red, there is Toads Digital, which is newer and fresher. New hotness, old and busted.
What was the other?
So-
was it Jerry Net the thing you invited me to, Dennis?
New hotness,
joined
old
something,
and
but
busted.
You were in there.
I was in
I
there.
think
but
you're still in there. But yeah, it's largely quiet, but we do
I just don't
talk to each other.
Well,
in
never.
there.
I never get
It's
it. It never
reserved.
pops up anymore. It used to pop up, so I go check it out.
We got a lot of folks
You
that
have to launch
um,
the software again.
There are several
maybe.
people that
This
I
could
don't
be.
have another
Slack.
method of talking to them, so they're in JerryNet, and that's how I talk to them. But I do spend a lot more time on Toads now because
Now you guys are
Awesome.
JerryNet cross modes,
in the
right?
light.
Is it cross moding, Dennis?
Yeah, we have a JerryNet reflector, and it does all three modes.
Okay. Yeah. That is some sketchy ass software. What a ginormous pain in the ass that is.
It is snot and band-aids.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yep.
That is a very
It really is
excellent
held
description.
together. It's really held together by just very fragile software. I have to go in every week and just like restart stuff because it just keeps crapping out.
I haven't
It
done
must
that
be
in
an
a couple weeks. I
enterprise
feel a little bit
application.
of a slacker. Go ahead, Ape. I'm sorry.
I'm saying that if you have to restart it once a week, it must be like an enterprise application.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. Pretty
So,
much.
I used to do that a lot where I would go and talk to other managers and we would do outsourcing services for them and be talking to them. And they're like, oh, that's when we do the weekly reboot of this. I'm like, why you why are you rebooting it? Like, just
Right.
because it's good for it.
That's our accounting system. I don't know what that
Yeah,
thing's running on
the
the
thing-
platform. It's got to be
You
like
know, I know folks who haven't reboot their Linux system in like 566 days or something like that.
Right.
And then here I am with a Linux setup that I have to go in and reboot services every week. I just
Yeah.
don't get it.
Yeah, we have our the D-Star piece is hosted here on a Pi 2, and then the DMR and Fusion piece is on DigitalOcean, and it's like the services just randomly shut themselves off. Today, today D-Star and DMR cross mode all day, but Fusion doesn't want to, so I got to go restart the Fusion server. And I don't check it every day. And then people go, when are we going to have it fixed? Well, hell, I didn't know it was broken because I don't get on it every day.
You don't
Yeah.
have automated alerting set up?
I ain't got all that stuff set up yet.
You're like I'm a big Alabama Jim, and I'm an IT professional, but you ain't got no automation on that thing.
Well, because because I was lazy. Let's just go with that. I was lazy. Do we want to talk about network abilities? Do we
Listen, I'm just saying. I'm not
my
claiming.
God, you plugged it in the wrong hole, man.
I'm not claiming to
Turn
be
her over.
No, I was all good. I'm not claiming to be an expert. That's the difference.
I'm not either.
No, they're saying you didn't pass the nerd test tonight.
Oh, Red, really, Red?
I think Red's just trying to troll tonight.
Red is trolling. Really. Usually that's
Tonight,
Don
the role
that
of
does
Don
the trolling.
N5SKT will be played by Red Summit RF. We apologize for any
Exactly
inconvenience.
right.
I should have given him a link.
Hey man, give me your login to YouTube real quick.
Bring him in.
I think a lot of these people who get hacked is because they want to get hacked. You know what I mean? Like they're like,
Really now.
That's clout points for me if my Instagram gets hacked. And because you see that stuff all the time on Facebook where people are like, "Hey, if you get any crazy posts from me, I was hacked. My Facebook account got hacked." I'm like, "I've been getting crazy posts from you for 10 fucking years."
Swear jar.
It hasn't,
but I've been
it
getting
hasn't
crazy
changed.
posts
That's
from you
right.
for
What's
10
changed?
years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I finally got one that made sense. I knew you got hacked.
So somebody was asking, I think it was Red, about the MFJ 929.
Glenn. Then Red was
Glenn.
also asking about it.
What is it?
What is the
It's
FJ929?
an auto tuner that has it's similar to
auto-tuner.
like LDG makes one that's real similar to it. It has a digital readout display LCD, and you can push buttons to change the capacitance and the inductance on it. It's a pretty nice little box.
Okay.
But I haven't
At
actually
first,
used
I
one.
thought you meant
200
auto tuner,
watts.
like when Hosh was saying DX.
Right, like when Cher sings.
What are you saying? What?
DX Commander.
Oh,
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 2 antennas. That's a nice unit.
Nice unit.
Nice unit.
oh, that's the front and the back.
Oh,
there.
it's
There's the
compact.
picture.
That does look like an LDG.
But does it auto tune?
Tim, you should do the whole show like that.
I cannot be laughing.
See, that would be awesome to order Chinese food with that one.
I will just
Yeah, go ahead. Be like, I would like the Kung Pao chicken.
start laughing now. Jesus.
What's a good digital tuner? A good one.
Digital
Digital meter.
All right, someone take away that road.
Let's put Chuck's voice on this.
He amuses himself.
By your command.
By your command.
He's testing out his
By your command.
his voice changer on us.
I mean, why even have a meter for QRP?
What
Yeah,
kind
Don,
of meter?
QRP Guys makes one. If you're talking about like what's your power output rating, trying to get that QDX working. But really, you just need to watch the needle move, and then when it stops moving, you've gone far enough.
You can use a Regal MSO 5074.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sniffs it all the time, Kid God.
A little too much model glue.
Yeah, right.
Did you guys?
I'm
put
just going to
models
go to the
together?
model section, guys. I'll be right back.
Yes, I
you
did,
put
Ape. I had a
models together?
collection of airplanes in the ceiling on the ceiling of my bedroom.
I did.
Oh, you don't have glue? I'll take paint.
I did hot rods.
All right, I can relate
Hot
with
rods.
For BKF radio, Battlestar Galactica nerds.
Yeah,
That's
the
one
original
area
one,
that-
which looks stupid as hell right now. The reboot was actually pretty good.
Both of them. I love
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
think
think they should be allowed to do reboots. I think it ruins it.
I think any weird crap that they did in the BSG reboot was made up for in the final episode, because the final episode just was awesome.
sealed the story. Like finally a show that has a good ending.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Okay. Well, go
Hey,
over to
We'll
the
go
other
watch
table.
4 years worth of TV show, and then
Right.
you
You know
can
what?
talk to the big boys.
You know what I've been waiting for though? Everyone does like remakes and reboots of things. I've been waiting for a Buck Rogers reboot.
Yeah. That wasn't quite so campy. 80s, 70s, 80s
Yeah.
campy. Although Aaron Gray, you know,
But like, what was wrong with Buck Rogers that they need to redo it? Like, so the thing is,
You ever watch that show?
listen, son.
Could he use this?
The best movie in the history of movies is Roadhouse.
Isn't that VHF only?
with Swayze.
Oh, it might be VH.
Roadhouse is awesome.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready
Sure
to
come.
remake Roadhouse, which
What?
I think is just an abomination. And whoever thought of this needs to be waterboarded, tarred, and feathered, and all that stuff.
You
I
know,
was like, I just can't believe it.
I would not totally disagree with you on that because Swayze was that movie. Polar Bear fell on me. That movie was perfect.
Listen, they had rednecks in that movie. They had monster trucks in that movie. They had country bars.
They had
bar
mullets.
fighting. Right, they had mullets. They had explosions. They had everything that a movie needs to be good. And now they're going to redo it. And I'm just like, this is a
Obligatory topless pool scenes.
I'm
That
reading
was
the
in there too.
comments. They did our Red Dawn remake, and that wasn't.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
That was not nearly.
It
As
was
good.
not nearly as good. Yeah. I had high hopes for it. And
Don't
the Star
remake
Trek,
Patrick Swayze movies, man.
the Star Trek reboots, the 3 Kelvin timeline shows in Star Trek.
Did you rewatch that?
No, because it offended me the first time. It won't offend me less.
We had
the
this
second.
conversation. The
I
other
know.
Day.
I just don't want to waste that much more time in my life. I'm old. It could happen anytime. So
Which movie was Ape talking about?
I need to
I'm
watch
going
some
to watch
Steve Austin.
Roadhouse right now. As soon
Roadhouse.
as we're
You know
done
what?
here, I'm gonna
I
probably go
think
put it
I think
on.
you should get a bingo spot for Roadhouse because he brings it up almost every time.
He
we
does.
talk.
Roadhouse.
It's
Who,
just like
me?
a moxon.
Right. Ooh, there it is. Ding, ding,
There
ding.
we
I've
go.
got no problems with it. I mean, it's a historic piece of American
No,
cinematography.
I like it. It's awesome.
Roadhouse.
I
We
mean,
used,
Yeah.
to, we used to tell this guy that we knew his brother was on Roadhouse because he looked just like who was the old guy?
Sam
Patrick
Elliott.
Swayze.
He looked just like Sam Elliott, just like his brother, man.
Well, I got to tell you, Sam Elliott was in the second best movie of all time, The Big Lebowski.
Second best.
The Big Lebowski. That's right.
He was in the best Western of all time. That's Tombstone.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, so
Yeah.
well, I got to tell you, I liked Young Guns a lot. I
Young
gotta-
Guns was good. Oh, yeah, it was good. The first one. The second one's a little.
I liked
mean, it's-
Unforgiven.
I thought that
yeah,
was
that was-
horrible.
That
with
was
the
really
Clint, with Mr.
That was
Eastwood
a
is in that.
snooze fest. I kept waiting. What's gonna? Is something gonna happen here?
No,
What
I
are we
enjoyed.
doing?
I enjoyed Unforgiven.
And do you guys remember Wyatt Earp that came out after Tombstone? And I think Costner was in it.
It was
Costner was
Costner
in that
was
one.
in that one.
Oh my God, what a piece of crap! That was horrible. The worst movie ever made, Independence Day, bar none.
I haven't seen
good.
it.
You're not a Will Smith
I enjoyed it.
fan, or what?
Hated that movie. Yeah, Will Smith is great. Men in Black, he's awesome. Will Smith is hilarious, and he's
Well, I
been
wouldn't
in
ask
the.
Chris Rock how great he is.
Well, yeah, whatever. They
to
made
go
up.
there.
I think they kissed and made up. But
I don't know about that.
Will Smith was good in. Oh, geez, what is it? Omega Man, I think. Was that it? It was a remake of a Charlton Heston movie.
I don't know,
About-
man. I can't
about
get
the end
into
of
this.
the
Will
world.
Smith is a serious actor. He's the Fresh Prince, right?
He's a freshman.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not sure. I'm not sure. I'm going to give him any credit beyond that.
Independence Day was just a piece of crap, and it was a lot of stars in it and B-listers that you know their faces but don't know their names. But it was just the stupidest movie.
So Val Kilmer was he was in the original Top Gun.
Yes, and he
you know,
was
I gotta
awesome
tell you,
in that.
Like when I was a kid, I remember like, yeah, Top Gun was awesome, man. It was killer. And then so like I'm in, finally getting in my 40s and I can afford a giant TV theater in the house and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, we'll watch Top Gun. That's what they would show. That's what they would show at the big box store when you wanted to know if a TV.
That's
was
right,
good.
Red. I'm Legend.
And I'm watching Top Gun, and these guys come out oiled up from head to toe, wearing speedos, prancing around on the beach.
And it made you
rocking a
tingle,
ball.
didn't it? Didn't it? You tingled.
Which movie? They weren't no speedos.
There
in
was
Top
no
Gun.
oil
I was like, I
either.
can't watch this.
There was
I can't
no
watch
oil
this.
or
I was like,
Speedos.
what if Gene Shorts Dave and Right Wing Jeff come over here and see me watching this? I was like, I got to turn it on.
Something
They'd
might
pop
happen.
a cold one and sit down with you. I mean,
I was out.
they're probably rhinos, so they just sit down with you and hang out.
I was like, I'm turning.
Y'all could have an erotic moment with each other.
Listen, I'm conservative on tons of stuff, so I don't want to get into any of that. But my friend Right Wing Jeff, the way he talks about this stuff, he's like, it's almost like I got a damn sickness. Everybody, I mean, Jesus is to the left of me. It's like I'm afflicted. Like he almost talks about it like he's sick. He's so far over.
Probably is.
I should have him on the show.
I Am Legend was the Will Smith movie, End of the World
Yeah.
thing. That was a remake of Omega Man with Charlton Heston.
Mhm.
I knew it wasn't called Omega Man. I couldn't remember the name of it. That was a good movie.
He was in Planet of the Apes, Chuck Heston.
Yes, he was. Yeah. Those remakes were not bad.
They weren't good, but they weren't bad.
They weren't terrible. And
So
we haven't talked about Marvel movies. I mean, we're having a nerd convo.
not gonna
No
That's
one
a-
has said a
that's
word
geek
about
combo.
Marvel movies.
Marvel would be a geek combo.
Geek.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we
Marvel
talk
jumped the
about
shark? How about that?
Scarlet Witch or Black Widow? I mean,
I don't know
It's your
either
channel.
one of them. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well then never
Yeah, I
mind.
don't either.
Yeah, I have thoughts on that, but I won't get into it.
Like I watched the League of Justice when I was a
Gentlemen.
kid, and they had the cartoon. on
The
there.
cartoons, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know why them people keep hanging around with Batman. I mean, all he does is put on underwear and wears a little helmet, a bat helmet.
You want to talk about useless superheroes? Aquaman.
Him too. Him too. Fish boy,
Protect the sea,
fish boy, and bat dude.
But
Really?
no one cares.
They're gonna have a Wonder
about
Twins.
me.
Are they gonna have a Wonder Twins movie? Or I
Oh
guess
Lord,
the
you did
Hollywood
watch
doesn't think
Justice League. I remember those knuckleheads.
I think they are going to have one. They
It would not surprise
I heard
me.
Something
I
about
think the one can turn into water.
trying to put one
Like,
together.
I can turn into vapor, water, and ice.
Don, that is another thing we both agree on. Black Widow, absolutely all day. ScarJo is awesome.
I don't know about you, Jim. We're starting to think more and more
Great
too. The Telemundo girl is it? Do we still have that resume?
I do. I've been talking to her.
Shooter Ray
Okay.
stand by. Says,
I did
So
not
we're
know
gonna
that,
do it
Lon.
just for the heck of it.
Come on, Green Lantern.
You're
That's a
banned.
horrible movie.
Bye bye.
I really wanted to like Green Lantern. I really did,
Yeah,
and it
it's so
just
bad.
was.
What is his superpower? His ring shoots like a lantern in the sky. I don't even
No,
know.
he can make things with his mind and his magic green ring.
But was that true when we were kids and we watched the Justice League? Could he do?
I don't.
Like I remember when I was a
that.
kid.
I think when we were kids, it was he just shot things with his green,
You put a
energy.
death ray on you or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think he made stuff like they made it now.
When I was a kid and we would play superheroes, everybody would be like, "Oh, I'm going to be Batman. Oh, I'm going to be Spider-Man." It was always the pro move to pick Green Lantern. Be like, "I'll be Green Lantern." And everybody like, "Oh, damn, I meant to pick Green Lantern." But I'm not really sure. I guess
The
I just-
Thunderbirds were awesome.
I remember the Thunderbirds are go,
Thunderbirds are go.
and Lance Link. You guys remember Lancelot Link?
No.
That was it was a movie filmed with chimpanzees dressed up in people clothes, and he was like a secret agent.
Man, didn't you go outside and stuff when you was a kid? I mean, you watch all these TV shows. I
Look
never
at him.
heard
He
of.
ain't never
Well,
been
you're
outside.
here, so obviously I've been outside once or twice, right?
once or twice.
Okay,
On the way
Dad.
on the way to the jazz camp, I guess.
That's right. This is one time in band camp. I'm not the only one who remembers Lancelot Link. Just saying.
I would never. Like Wonder Woman had the invisible jet. What good is the invisible jet?
How does she know where she parked it?
Well, does that mean you can see her when she's flying by?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
would think. I mean,
You can see
she
her, but not
wasn't
the
invisible.
jet.
right.
Don't you remember
Yeah.
the old TV show in the 70s?
Oh yeah,
I do.
With
She
that
had
was
that
Linda
sitting
Carter.
rope.
She'd just be sitting there in the sky,
And she had the rope of truth, right? She would wrap the rope
Yeah.
around you, and you had
Yeah.
to be honest.
Lasso of truth. Lasso of truth. Come on, nerd. You know better.
the rope of truth,
Get away from me with that rope.
Danger Mouse.
the twine of truth.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about superhero movies. I'm just not. It's not my thing.
I enjoy it. My kid watches them. Macy likes them. I watch them. They're not bad. They're not terrible.
Dad of the year.
They don't really have an excellent plot
Oh,
line,
there we
but
go.
then that's most of the Star Wars movies
Marvin
too. So
Dreesen.
there you go.
Says
Who was
$6 Million
that?
Man. I used to watch that.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time.
Oh
Who
yeah,
was
I love
Antonio
that series.
Banderas?
Did they had this $6 million woman too, right?
Yep.
What would they call it? Was that the same?
the
That was the
bionic
Bionic Woman.
Bionic
Bionic
woman.
Woman.
Yeah,
They were
Jamie-
hiding the fact they didn't spend
Lindsay,
as much.
Lindsay Wagner, wasn't it?
Lindsay Wagner. Yeah.
yeah,
Her name was Jamie in the show. I was like, Jamie's Lindsay Wagner.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
a
that
big
was great.
when I was a kid, big
Hey,
fan of
hey,
Speed
there was a
Racer.
Sasquatch in $6 Million Man. That was like toward the end of it.
So
Oh, yeah.
Well, they
there
might
was
have to
in
do something with
Scooby Doo
Train.
too.
I think Bonanza.
And
had
if it
one,
wasn't
too.
for those meddling
Flints.
kids,
When I was a
Meddling
kid, man,
kids.
I would get spooked out watching Scooby Doo. Like when Scooby Doo was on, had to have one of my friends or something over to watch it because otherwise I would start. They had all that haunted stuff, man. I would get scared by it.
And I
But you
would have got
didn't-
away with it if it weren't for those meddling kids.
meddling kids, didn't you tumble that like every week it was like an old man that was doing it?
Yep.
Always. There was never the ghost of,
Man, I was
the
a kid.
Great Pumpkin or
Why
nothing.
Why are you picking on kids?
I'm not. I'm just like,
I
well, you
was
must
a
have been a
dang old
slow
kid.
kid.
I'm just saying I was a kid and I just got to this day I won't watch scary stuff. Like I get
What?
What?
That's right. Warehouse 13.
Red, I am with you, my friend. I did watch Chips. Emergency.
Chips was amazing.
I watch Chips occasionally. I don't remember it all the time, but
I
I
used
watch
to watch
Emergency all the
Chips.
time.
I like chips.
Yeah.
Did we
Now
cover all
he
the
sells
things that
he sells properties.
we covered
like
all
lake
the things.
properties.
Warehouse
we haven't
13. That
talked
was a
about-
good show. If y'all haven't seen that, that was
We
good.
haven't talked about 3D printing. Wasn't that one of the prime topics for nerds and geeks and all that stuff?
I think we have to talk about that right there.
What's that?
Don.
I don't
That
even
one
know.
was
who-
hot.
From
That one
From
was hot.
Scooby Doo.
from the Flintstones? Oh, from,
Flintstones.
Scooby-Doo.
No, Scooby-Doo.
And LC is right. They did have a ham radio and flipper, I think. Okay. this is
That might have been, in Flipper, that might have been Marine Radio.
probably. Wasn't he like a park ranger or something?
Yeah, he was park ranger, but he had the skiff.
who?
Flipper.
The flipper dad guy. The single
don't know
dad
who
that
it is.
raised the kid that was friends with the dolphin.
I'm not sure about that.
Or
Did you see
porpoise.
the remake of the Baywatch with The Rock?
Nope.
No.
I didn't even
No.
watch the original Baywatch.
I never saw the original Baywatch with the Hoff. Never.
Actually, one of the
well,
gals.
hopefully,
one of the-
hopefully you watch The Hall for Knight Rider. I mean, Knight Rider
No.
is a good show.
Knight
no,
Rider,
Knight Rider was
absolutely.
craptastic.
one of the
love Knight
original,
Rider.
one of the gals in the original Baywatch was actually a San Francisco firefighter.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Some
She
of the
was
one or
pretty
two of
hot.
the crew on Emergency was L.A. County fire as well. Marco, I think, was a real L.A. County, and the captain on the show, I believe, were also they were really L.A. fire.
There we go. Airwolf.
I did watch
Airwolf,
Airwolf,
yeah.
right?
I never watched it.
Don, you're correct. Or this season of the Orville, I've barely been able to get through one episode because it was so freaking boring and sensitive, and I'm like, I'm done with this. It's not even funny.
Well, he's trying to make up for all the mess in Family Guy.
See, I don't watch that. I barely know anything about that show. at
And I'm
all.
not passing judgment. I'm saying, like, compared to the Orville, the things that Family Guy is able to get away with doing and saying is messy.
The first two seasons of the
different.
Orville was good, and then
It's a different audience. The Family Guy's a cartoon.
Right.
and this third season, which has been like 2 years before they got around to it, just completely sucks. Any Breaking Bad fans here on the stream? Dennis, my man. What about the rest of y'all?
I tried to
Dennis, do you
it,
watch
it was
Better
too
Call
late.
Saul?
Absolutely.
So you know we're almost to the. Are
Almost
you
to
current?
the what?
Are you current on Better Call Saul?
I VPN to UK so I could watch all of season 6 so far.
Take
What?
that, Jim. Take that.
What?
You watched season 6.
Is
I've
it all
already
out?
seen-
He's a season ahead of you. That's how good
We're
he is.
we're in
Slow moving, I know.
episode 10, I believe.
Well, I mean,
Of
episode
season
11 came out Monday night, so
Okay, we'll watch that.
so you're okay. Well, I thought you had like an inside thing, and you were already like,
I didn't watch
Ahead.
No, they're not done with
Okay.
it, but I'm all caught up to whatever
okay, yeah,
was released up till today.
yeah. I think. Well, I know the
Past
final
Chuck's
episode. The
bedtime.
final episode is Monday
It
night.
is.
It is getting late.
Is that
So
beer?
he's
Is that
shaming
beer?
you, Adam. He's saying that you're behind. What do they call
Yeah.
that? Binge purging, stream watching,
Binge
What is-
watching.
Binge
binge
watching.
watching.
Wasn't there a meme and meme wars of Toads about that? It was like Netflix is all, hey, here's a 10-hour movie, and it's like, are you crazy? oh, okay, let's
Oh,
break
yeah,
it up into
there was.
1 hour segments. And I was
Right.
like, oh, I'm totally in.
I'm totally in. That's how I roll. I can't do a 1 hour long show, but I can do 4 15-minute shows. I can do 5 15-minute shows.
Hollywood true story. I was in
right,
the
that's
fire
my call
department
sign.
here. It's my channel. I'm gonna tell an old man story. I was in the fire department here for.
Sons of-
I got out about a year and a half ago, but I've been in the fire department here for 27 years. And what? He bailed. It got quiet. Steve
It
left.
got quiet, so you knew.
Right.
He's gonna tell an old
And-
man story, so I had to leave.
Right.
right.
Listen, you're not that far behind me, pumpkin. And
Pumpkin.
so there's.
Yeah, but I still look good.
The county fire departments have numbering, and our fire department was Department 5. So everybody's radio call was 50123 whatever. And the previous chief had numbered, our trucks were numbered in this mishmash of what the hell were you people thinking when you put numbers on trucks. And every time they got a new one and they put it at station 1, they called it truck 1. And it was no one knew what the hell they were. So we renumbered all our trucks. And since we were Department 5, guess what we got to do? So I have Rescue 51, Engine 51, Tanker 51, Brush 51.
What does that have to do with anything?
That was the unit number on emergency. For
What's
those of
emergency?
you who, that was an awesome TV show in the 70s about paramedics in LA
Hey, that's
County
a really
Fire.
cool story, bro. Can you tell it again?
Shut up, you big dummy head.
Just
Big
saying.
dummy head.
Everybody listen to you rant about the damn laptop and
I
your
wasn't. I was
unnatural
providing
love for
truth.
nano VNAs, which is
Providing
unnatural
truth to
because they're
people.
sketchy pieces of
I
junk.
was helping people learn.
Helping people learn.
So Red Summit RF mentioned Kung Fu. We can't go without saying Kung Fu was pretty
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I still watch
Yeah.
clips of that on YouTube, and I got to tell you, like, I'm not a woke millennial by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But
What?
they do have a point about some of these things, like the Kung Fu show. Like, is David Carradine supposed to be Chinese in that series?
Yes. I guess.
I mean, that's bad, right? I mean, like, I would be upset about that.
There's apparently no Asians that acted in the 70s or something. I don't know. But they had the
Well,
old
like,
guy was
Wasn't
Asian.
he part white?
I can't think of his
I
name.
thought he was part white, though, in that show.
David Carradine.
Maybe
yeah,
he was
I
in
mean,
the show.
when he was
guy.
a young trainee, he was this bald white guy. So, I mean, I don't know.
You're
And
I
the
don't know
fight
if they were
scene-
trying to say he was
You wouldn't like
Chinese.
red when he's angry. He turns green.
Right.
They were just it would just always be some brawler who would insult him and then try and get in
Right.
a fight and get his
And then
butt
he would do
beat
some
down.
dim mock. He would do some dim mock and
Right.
whoop the rear end.
But I mean, they had to spit on him and beat on him before he got, medieval on their ass.
Right.
Don, I never was a huge fan of the Dick Van Dyke Show. I remember the show about walnuts and the space aliens. That's the only one I ever watched or remember.
I don't even know that.
It's like Seinfeld. I never watched Seinfeld. I remember the Sponge episode and Puerto Rican Day. Those are the two episodes that I ever remember about that show.
Well,
They just stuck out.
Seinfeld's pretty funny. I don't remember all the stuff that people always talk about. Like,
kinda
remember
like-
when
kinda
Seinfeld
like
bought the
tonight.
chocolate chip cookies? Like, no,
Show
I
about
don't
nothing.
remember that.
Nope.
Twilight Zone was good.
Tonight show is about nerds, Chuck.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and we're pretty much geeking out about TV shows. So
Right.
I think we've just flipped the whole script.
We never even
Jumped
talked about
the shark.
3D printing.
We have crossed the Rubicon.
Is 3D printing? Is it all that?
You should try it on your crap top.
Yeah.
What the 3D print was?
You could run
See if you can
Octo
run it.
print on there.
I printed bumpers on for my crap top to make it extra durable for field operations.
There you go.
Did you? Nice.
You're
I
talking
think
smack,
3D
but I really am going to use my crap top for MCOM.
You have,
Like, I
I
really
mean,
You
am
will.
gonna use that. I mean, that's its purpose. And
listen, I've used mine a ton for just nothing. I mean, it works fine for, like, I do a lot of emails. Like,
Jim is
I've
headed up to
always had
here
emails,
with this cat.
so I use
She
it for
won't
that.
stop.
You wish.
But mine is like a real pain to open up. So like that laptop,
Yes.
like, I mean, you almost need to get like a screwdriver in there to pop that thing.
it's like whenever I want to open this thing, I'm like, "Ah."
I'm like, I got to loosen that hinge, get some WD on that thing.
It does not like opening.
Yeah, that's a nice
It does not. Also, the
I saw
screen is not real good. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
Lord,
the-
Cape Cod, really?
Oh
Really?
yeah, I actually took it outside and I couldn't see anything on the glare
Ooh,
of
rapid
that
troll.
screen.
And then the keyboard also is a little. Here's my problem with it. So like, I hit the space bar with my right thumb all the time, and the space bar on that crap top is like this wide, and I miss it. Boom, boom, boom every time. So when I type something, there's no spaces, and I got to go back and I got to edit it.
Okay, I've got to jump in on this one. Okay, nice, cool story, bro. So, N4VKF mentioned a TV show, SWAT,
Coach.
the original SWAT TV show. And that came on TV Land or something, and I was all excited because I vaguely remembered it, and I thought it was cool. And then I watched the first episode, and it was the most horrible, piss-poor, unholy gun handling I ever saw in my entire life, even for Hollywood. They had they had this part of the episode where they had to get up in the ceiling. So the first guy gets up in the ceiling because his buddy boosts him up, and then he takes the barrel of his AR-15 and he holds it, and he lowers the rifle down to his friend to hold on to the rifle to pull him up into the ceiling. And I quit watching it. I'm like, holy shit, what have I just seen? This is oh my God. I'm done. And that was in the first episode. I'm like, holy crap, this is horrible.
What about the Fall Guy?
But they had a damn fine theme.
I'm not the kind to kiss and tell.
Right. I like
Fall Guy was good. And it had Marky Post in it. Was that the
No.
chick, I
Yeah, she
think?
was.
No,
Yes,
no,
yes, yes,
no.
she
She
was.
was in-
Yeah,
and she
Marky
was in
Post
Night
was in
Court.
it. That
Yeah,
was
but she
that was she was
She was
the
in Night
yeah
Court.
she was.
She was in Night
She was
Court
in
as
Night
well, but
Court.
Marky Post was in the Fall Guy.
She was in Fall Guy too.
All right,
she
I'm
was
looking
the
it up.
she,
You
she
Google
was
that.
the gal. She did
IMDb.
the
I'm
money,
looking
the
it
bell
up.
person. She was the bell person.
Yeah, yeah. I thought
that was
on
it.
Night Court, I thought she was a lawyer. She became the judge later on.
Are they bringing it back?
Night Court.
No, the Fall Guy.
I think I saw
I
something
think-
about
I
that.
think I did too.
Oh yeah, she was in there, huh?
Yeah.
So
I
I
was
don't know if
thinking.
you- if
I
you
was thinking
folks
Heather
saw
Thomas. Sorry.
TC from Magnum PI
Died.
recently.
Yeah, he just
passed
died,
a couple
yeah.
days ago.
Well, more
Somebody else
importantly,
just
Olivia
died too,
Newton-John
wasn't
passed away.
Yeah, I thought TC was the coolest one on Magnum PI when I was a kid. Like flew the helicopter, and he had like
He
this
got
big
to fly the
earphone,
helicopter, yeah.
and he had the microphone, and he was like big and badass and whoop everybody. I thought he was the best one on that show when I was a kid.
Hollywood, I don't know about that. I remember watching that and thinking it was kind of crappy back in the day.
No, I didn't like that. I didn't like
was
Space
thinking of that one.
1999.
I've never
Oh
heard
yeah,
of it.
Heather Locklear. That was like her first or second. She was
Red
on
with the Burn.
Chips also.
What was Heather Locklear on?
Hooper.
She was
Besides
on Fall
T.J.
Guy
Hooker.
and Chips.
Yeah,
Scrubs.
she's
and
Hooker.
T.J.
That's what
Hooker.
she was on there with
William
Captain
Shatner.
Kirk.
Yeah,
Captain Kirk was on that when
the Shat. The Shat.
The
That's
Shat.
what they call him, the Shat.
The greatest actor.
I would
ever.
hate to have that name.
Raven, you got here just in time. Welcome.
Hey, Raven.
Hey, William Shatner has some like fact or fiction TV show out. I just Google fact or fiction TV show for William Shatner, but they talk about like all kinds of phenomenon in there.
Do 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 do.
But he still like
He can
does
make
his
that. He
Captain
can
Kirk.
make that dramatic.
Right, right. He's like, was it in Alien? You know, so like I don't know. It's pretty good.
Does he do the lean?
He does all that stuff. But I like him. I don't make fun of him. I like William Shatner. There's some things that are sacred. He was Captain Kirk. I shouldn't make
Right,
fun of him.
right, exactly. That's exactly right. I never was a guns. LC's talking about Gunsmoke.
Yeah, I watched.
I
that
liked
too.
The Rifleman. I watched a lot of that.
Yeah, with Chuck Connor,
Luke.
Yeah.
because he always would do the twirling thing with that big. What was that? Like an 1894 Marlin lever
Yeah,
that he carried.
He would spin it around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I tried to do that with the lever action rifle once. No one saw me do
It's not a good
Didn't,
idea.
It's good.
Didn't work. No, there was no
ND.
It wasn't.
no
Hopefully it
ND.
no bullets in it.
ND. The episode that killed the franchise. Nice, Liberty.
Oh yeah.
Which was what?
He's saying this is the show that ended Coffee and Ham Radios.
Nah.
I got the joke, Liberty. Sorry about these folks.
It's on Jim's channel. There's a reason we did it this way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we'd never do this otherwise.
That's that sub count looking, Jim.
Let's check.
It
Let's
went
go
down.
to the. Oh my! Yeah, it might. It very well might have.
Well,
You're
the thing
at
is, like,
800.
it's like you couldn't come
yeah,
up with a
dude.
more like, how can we alienate the audience? Let's talk about nerds, geeks, neckbeards, bronies.
You're the one talking about bronies. Ain't nobody else here said nothing about bronies.
When I
it's a
first heard
defense
about that,
mechanism.
I was beyond shocked when I
Trying to
heard about
process that.
right about the bronies. But there are
937.
tons of people who are into the dressing up and going to these whatever they're called, these festivals.
Brony
cons.
Fest.
Yeah, but not just brony cons, like just with all of them. Like I couldn't believe, like I was talking to somebody. So I know a guy who does security for
With Star Trek
science.
6, Mike.
I don't know what you would call them, these science fiction.
That was
fairs or
5.
whatever.
6 was
Five.
Undiscovered Country.
Yeah, 5.
You talking about being the god of Star Trek. Shut your mouth.
I never said that. I got my number wrong. It'll be all right. It's late. I need a Dr. Pepper, and my underwear's too tight.
If only you had said it on stream somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, furries is another one. That's another abnormality that we didn't talk
Mike,
about.
how did you not know about Brony? I have seen some of the pictures you post.
Yeah. Woo. I don't think Mike's mom has ever seen the pictures he posts. That's a fact.
He didn't really know what a brony was.
I think he's lying.
But see,
But I
the
know
thing is,
Mike. He's the kind of guy that would do that.
the thing is that with everything,
Ham
people
cord.
take it too far.
FT8 off.
Right?
Right.
Like it's okay if you're a man and you're like, look, when I was a kid, I watched My Little Pony and I liked it. But
That
it's
was
a whole
Apollo
nother
LC.
one. It's a whole nother one to go to conferences
Man, I just
with
looked it
people
up.
like you.
Right.
Chuck, things you shouldn't do on stream.
Yes.
The furries. The furries are
Oh,
frightening.
man.
And the bronies. Both of them. Have
I
you
used
guys
to watch Alf.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Alf
You
was
know what
good.
his real name was?
Yes. Gordon Shumway.
Gordon. That's right.
That's
Oh,
why I said-
Shumway.
I got
that
the
all the
last
time.
name, butt out, Jim.
That's good. That's
I
good.
do that like if I order something, I'm like, what is the name? I'm like, Gordon Shumway.
Gordon sent us into
That way they can't
outer
get you.
space.
They can't track it.
Brony furry is outside the scope of Hamcourt's jurisdiction. That sounds to me like it may be a thing. And Mike is going, you don't have jurisdiction over me, man. You don't want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We never do talk about Elvis being alive or dead.
Well, he's
Elvis
dead
ain't
now.
dead. He just went
he's
home.
Dead now. He's too old. But the
No,
thing is
he
that
just
wa-
went
he
home.
Didn't die, he didn't die when they said he died. Everybody knows that. That was just a cover up. He was too famous. They had to do something about it.
That was,
Didn't Howard Hughes like hide him or
Les
something?
Nessman.
no, Les was not the engineer. The
He's
girl
a
was the
program director.
engineer.
Oh.
Bailey, I think.
Bailey. Yeah, Bailey.
I think it was
Lonnie
Bailey was
Anderson.
the engineer. Venus, you had Venus, Flytrap, Johnny Fever. You had the sales guy.
This show was
Howard
before
or
my
something.
time, by the way.
Oh hell, half these shows are before your time.
I
Some of these
remember
shows
the
are before
show.
my time.
I think my parents watched it, but I don't
Oh Jesus, I'm old.
remember that much of it, to be honest with
I
you.
was in my 20s when that show was on.
Hollywood saying it was him, but he subtly let that Freudian slip out.
Yeah, right.
What is all that beeping going on? I've been hearing it. all
It's
night.
my cell phone. I'm trying to make some
Yeah.
deals here. Just
Someone's got it.
don't
He's
never
trying
you
to make
mind.
Their phone.
Trying to
They
make
get
some
some
deals. Yeah,
Someone
he
doesn't
probably
want to
does.
turn off their phone.
Bucky?
Hey,
That was
Hey, Dennis.
okay. I don't remember that.
Dennis, we gotta do a soda or something, man.
Yeah, why not?
Didn't you
Well,
guys
you
talk
can't talk about
stuff
ham
fast.
radio. Do that somewhere else.
Oh well, we that's nerdy, isn't it?
What
Is
was
it-
the kit? Was the car's name? Red.
Night Industries 2000.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
But is ham radio nerdy? Is that what you're saying?
I need you,
That's what they
pal.
say. That's what they say.
I think it's a lot less nerdy than it used to
13.
be.
Dale,
At
you
some-
are exactly right.
At some point in time.
Not anymore, Don.
When did you get your license? That's about when it changed.
No.
what you're saying?
I think it was years and years before that. Like we were talking in Toads about crystals and crystal operated radios and stuff like that. And it reminded me, like I remember reading this thing from these older hams.
Turkeys can fly.
Like I really have been into reading older ham publications, and they were talking about cutting
You
your own
clicking, I'm
crystals.
clicking.
Yeah.
Right? They were talking about cutting your own crystals. And I'm like, as hams today, we sit around and we complain about USB-C and HDMI ports, right? You're the one that added HDMI ports.
I
too.
did. Yes, I did.
And it's like, can you imagine if today's ham had to cut crystals in order to get onto a particular frequency? I don't believe it would happen. I just don't. And so at some point in time, ham has become different than what it was, but everything evolves, right? So that makes total sense. But having not just the skill to cut a crystal, but the intelligence to know how to cut it and to cut it for what frequency and make it work that's a different ham than me. I'll say that.
Mad respect, Rose.
I wouldn't know how to do that.
But you would figure it out. That's the kind of ham you are.
You could probably figure it out. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
What, Dennis? Is this too much for Dennis?
He got upset
Did
and
he
left.
leave?
I guess. The man from Uncle
He's probably
Elsie.
using his pee. He probably had to use his pee jug.
There was a
Thank you, Dennis.
movie about the man from Uncle that came out in the 80s, like a reboot. It wasn't even a reboot. It was with the original guys.
Elian Karyalkin.
Ilya Kuryakin and
So,
Napoleon
guys-
Solo.
Yeah, Napoleon Solo. Do you guys ever
Yeah.
watch NCIS?
Used to. Wife still does. I
I have a
So
wife.
they-
Yeah, I see NCIS all the time.
So
Yeah, my old lady puts
they
it
did
on.
a old where they went back in time and they were looking at what people look like or who they were, back in the day. And one of the guys goes, "I wonder who Ducky what Ducky looked like when he was younger." And then he goes, "Napoleon Karyalkin." And I bet you 99% of the people that watch that didn't get that joke.
I remember that. I vaguely remember that. Because I just about peed myself. I was like, oh, I know what he's talking about. That's from the man from Uncle. Oh, my
right.
God. Oh, wow. Yeah. That was a good show. Do you remember the movie, the remake movie they did, Chuck?
Of what?
Of The Man from Uncle? It had Robert Vaughn and McCallum in it. And I think it had, I can't think of the bad guy. But he was in the original. I'm also almost positive. That was a good show. I enjoyed it.
I don't remember that movie.
The Saint. How about
It
The
would have been in
Saint?
the
Roger Moore.
80s.
With Val Kilmer.
Yeah, the Saint
Saint.
movie with Val Kilmer was good. hmm
With
The-
that
the-
car.
I mean,
that was
have
from
you
the
watched
1800.
it? Have you watched it again recently?
No.
Have you watched The Many Saints of
pretty
Newark? The follow-up or the prequel to The Sopranos?
I did.
I did not
I
like
think
it.
we did. Yes, I think I've.
It
seen
wasn't as good as The Sopranos, but it wasn't terrible.
Was
But the
that
thing
with?
is, again-
was that with the Tony as the boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
But they
How
didn't
about
have
the
the,
Shoresy
they didn't have the
spin-off
age
from
differences
Letterkenny?
and all this stuff, right?
Do what?
What was
I
that?
said, how
Tio?
about the Shoresy spin-off from Letterkenny? Bringing it back into this decade.
I don't even know what Letterkenny is.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Either.
All right, old man.
Oh,
Wild
man.
Wild
right.
West. Watch that. Yep.
wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking
I
about the series.
I like that. I like the series.
Yeah. With
Roseanne.
God, I can't remember who those guys. Who was
Now they're
that?
throwing
Robert
in
Conrad
Roseanne.
and I don't remember
know,
who the sidekick.
He- Liberty says the best James Bond was Sean Connery.
Yes.
You know how
I think it's the new guy.
you know
The
how
new guy, whatever his
when
name
you're
is.
when you're watching now on stream.
See you later, Red.
You're like
Hey,
fast
Red.
forward through the intro
See you,
of a
Red.
TV show. Like, let's say you're binge watching something on Netflix, and then the intro comes on, and then you'll just like fast forward it or skip the intro music, right? When we were watching the Sopranos, I would never skip the intro. I love that music.
Yeah, that's
I
a
would
good
just
song.
be bobbing my head,
Yeah.
every time the Sopranos came on.
So what's crazy is that I watched a documentary about the Sopranos. It was about a modern crime family in New Jersey, and they talked all about how they arrested all these guys and are all in jail now and all this stuff. But they would watch the
I just want to do a
Sopranos,
crank one.
and then they would complain about how their character was depicted on the television show. Like, I don't act that way. It's ridiculous. But I think that's one of the premier series that was ever produced for television.
Ross Martin. That's who played him.
Daniel Craig. Yes,
Yeah,
that's
Daniel
it.
Craig's the best James Bond.
Don.
I would have before
actually
him.
gets
I would
beat
have
up.
agreed.
I'm so
With Connery.
sad watching the latest Bond. 'Cause
Daniel
I
Craig.
like Daniel Craig.
Oh,
Daniel Craig does a good job. He's not Connery, but he's second best.
He actually is what James Bond was supposed to be. None of those other guys are, especially the freaking guy from who was that
Roger
one that's-
Moore.
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore was good.
Pierce Brosnan.
The guy
Yeah,
Pierce
Brosnan.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
I've read all
Craig's
the
a
Bond-
little guy, but he's
I've read all
mean,
the
he gets
Bond
beat.
books. The movies are
Oh, yeah.
nothing
Yeah,
like the
no.
books.
Oh, you're a book
books
reader.
good.
One of these book readers, huh?
Yeah, I
read
read.
one.
I read
I read
books.
one
Book readers.
That's the one I
Yeah.
hate the most. Like when you're talking
read
about
all of
movies,
the
like, did you
Dune.
read the book? No,
Have you
I
read Dune?
book
I
was
read
way
Dune.
better.
All of
I
it.
read all of Dune, all the prequels, all the
Yep,
prequels to the
me too.
prequels, all the sequels.
Yep.
Well, this is how I did it. I
read The Stand.
I watched Dune with Kyle MacLachlan, and then I read the books after that.
Same here. Same here.
I've
The
never even
84
seen the
version of that movie.
How's that?
God dang, that was a good flick. And it got panned. They crapped on that thing. And I thought it was a great movie. And then I read the books and I'm like, okay, all right, that makes a little more sense now, but still good.
I mean, there's a lot missing in every movie that you're going to
Yeah.
watch, but
Yeah.
I thought what is it? I forget when that was, the old
84.
Dune.
84.
But I was really excited when the new Dune came out. I just was pissed off that it was a cliffhanger. So now I got to wait for the other one.
Yeah, there was another
it
one in
should
the
be.
middle because there was a series on Sci-Fi Channel about 4 or 5 years ago. There's a Dune miniseries where they did the book again.
Yeah, and
So
Don's
that's like
talking
filler.
about Foundation, which incidentally has a TV series.
Yeah,
On-
and
on
good,
Apple
a good
TV.
show. I didn't remember it. I've read it. I didn't remember all that. I'm gonna have to go back and reread it. But
But the story of Foundation is pretty interesting. I liked it.
Hang on a second. This N4VKF is talking about Hill Street Blues.
that was a good show.
I'm going to have to go
Hill
back.
Street
That's a solid
Blues.
recommendation.
I
I have to
like
check
the
that out.
Hill Street
Yeah.
Blues. I
Yep.
just watched Hill Street Blues. I'm watching Hill.
And
Looks like
remember, let's
RTF
do it to
is-
them before they do it to us.
Well, listen, James, you got to wrap this stuff up here. I mean, it's starting to get late over here, about 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I haven't had dinner yet, man.
Have they shut down the sun in Nebraska?
They're fixing to. I
think they
gotta
have.
get me something to eat over here.
One last, The Wire.
His meal after
There you
the
go.
meal.
The Wire.
I haven't watched enough of it to.
What?
I
It's
know,
your people.
I know.
It's hard to start The Wire, but once you get into it,
Oh, it's the best cops show. It's not even a cop show. I don't even know what you call it, but The Wire. If you haven't watched The Wire, you need to, because holy crap.
You said the other day that you didn't watch You haven't watched Boardwalk Empire.
I have not watched Boardwalk.
Shocked.
yeah, that one's a good show.
I
Is
am
it? Okay.
shocked and disgusted. I'll add that one in.
Disgusted.
I mean, how do you know?
Disgusting.
I am offended by your ignorance.
It's like, I
Oh,
can't
that's
believe
funny.
that.
Coming from Ape. Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
It's a
Oh.
fantastic
Ron Walensky,
series.
The Expanse.
I have not watched Expanse. Is that decent? Apparently, you guys like it. Because
Good.
Dennis,
Heard
I
of
recognize a fellow nerd bro. Well, actually, all y'all, but you know.
The Expanse, at first, I was just like, what is this? I stopped watching after 2 episodes. Then Hosh started talking about it and he says, you got to watch the whole thing. And so I sat through it again and I really got into it and ended up binge watching all the seasons.
Is it one of those space nerd shows?
Yes.
Okay.
Farscape.
The thing about the Expanse is that I think Hosh said this. It's the most scientifically accurate sci-fi series because they don't automatically have gravity in space. They have to figure out ways to do
Right.
that. They don't
Look,
automatically.
gravity is a theory. We don't
okay.
necessarily we don't know if we have it here.
That's
on
what's
Earth either.
keeping your
We're
butt in
back
that
to this
chair.
again, huh?
Or
No,
or
it's
Miller.
called density. It's called
Miller Lite.
density. Things were heavier,
But things
and
have
more
to have
denser than
density
others.
based on gravity. You calculate
No.
density based on the grams per cubic centimeter. That's how you calculate
Listen,
gravity.
you don't need to have density. If you get hit in the face with a pillow and you get hit in the face with a hammer, you're going to have two different outcomes, and that's based
But-
off of density, son. It had
So
nothing
your
to do with
ass
gravity.
is so dense because you drink Miller beer.
Your
That's why
head-
you
your
stay in
head
the
is
chair.
dense. It's what
It's what
it's
holds
I'm
me
doing.
down. My
Just
gut might too. I don't know.
Here's what I don't understand. Some people are just like, I cannot accept this global warming put forward by the liberalists, but they believe in gravity. So it depends what scientists you believe depends on whatever suits your agenda. I don't get
am
it.
one of the few people that know that we all came here on the Great Space Ark, and you ignorant savages don't know
Well,
that
the
yet. And
Anunnaki.
They're coming
it's,
for me.
It's well documented that the Anunnaki came here and helped us.
There it
along
is.
this-
There it is.
Speed-
They
that's
needed
what
gold
made-
to protect
that's
their
what made the
atmosphere.
pyramids was the Anunnaki, because it wasn't the Egyptians. That was like way more
the
math
Anunnaki
than they're going to
built the
do.
pyramids and everything in South America and all that
Yes.
stuff.
And why else would they? Why else would there be mounds shaped like things that you can only see from the sky? The
And we
Indians down there, the
created in clay
indigenous
pots.
peoples, were like, "Hey, let's make a dirt picture big enough of a snake, but you can only see it from like 5,000 feet up in the air."
Well, they
Yeah.
had to have somebody up there on the CB be like, no,
Right?
go to the
Exactly.
left. Right. I totally.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All
Here
right.
we go. Dave is even saying that gravity's incorrect according to Einstein. Now what?
Farscape
Yep.
I don't know what you.
I watched the whole thing. Yeah, I like
and
Farscape.
Firefly.
Firefly, yes.
Firefly
Serenity.
the best.
Serenity was fabulous. Awesome show. Boys and girls, it is 9 o'clock. My
think I'll
butt
leave
is
on the
tired of
way
being
in.
in his chair. I need a Diet Dr. Pepper badly. Dennis said he's got to go because he has to pee. He's been infused with fluids. Ape, I'm surprised Ape hasn't had to get up and jet.
Got to go
Honestly,
make water.
Right?
I do
It's time
have
to
to
make
He's
water.
been intubated. He's all right.
Pretty bad. I've got to make some water.
Catheterized. That's the word. Intubated is up here. Catheters.
Whatever. A tube in a hole. You know what I mean.
Right.
I don't want either. I
Tube
don't
and
want
all.
either of those. I'll pass.
Ladies
If you had
and
to pick-
gentlemen,
if you had to
thank
pick,
you.
If you had to pick, it would be intubation. Right? I mean,
Right. You want
Surface
intubation.
intubation.
You don't want catheter.
No, you
I
don't
seen
want a
that. That's
catheter.
something I
Hey,
can't unsee. That's
Was
worse
there
than
some new?
that's
was there
worse
some
than that
new
stomach
news come
picture
out
we
this
saw.
week?
There's some new
we
nudes
wanna
out this week. What?
Nudes.
Some new news. It was hard to say anything. He's trying to get out of here. But hey, our new antenna comes out pretty soon, guys.
Oh yeah,
sure does.
it does.
We have
Yeah,
one
hello.
dipole. We have one of the link dipoles left.
One Mercury is left in stock right now on the barefootguys.com.
Oh yeah, Ape. How do I get on this wait list for the Apollo?
There's no wait list,
Apollo.
You got it. We'll make sure you get one. How about that?
but we know
Thank you.
people, so we'll give you like a
this
heads
is
up.
actually probably it, kind of, sort of. I think you know what I might do. I might build this
And send it to Dennis. Send it to Dennis as a
That's
prototype.
one of the printed ones. That's not one of the.
This is
that's
not one of the
that
good
one.
ones.
And then just to piss off the Ape, I will use my crap top to send FT8 on it.
Right.
I love the crap top. I think it's the most wonderful thing in the world.
Yeah, I think people just misunderstood what he was saying.
I mean, I think I told I think everyone knows.
That's what he was talking about.
There's a conspicuous missing sticker here. That's the Ape sticker that I got from him.
Think of the performance increase.
I
you would get
really
with an Ape
love
sticker.
that Ape sticker, but I thought he
I'm out
talked
of
so
Ape
much
stickers,
crap
too.
about this that I didn't want him to
You
get
were afraid
mad.
to put it on there. Yeah.
I don't want him to get mad that I put his sticker on the crap top. So I was
Yeah,
wrong.
but you-
Apparently he didn't mind if I put it on there, but now all the space is taken. So
No,
I'm sorry, man.
right. I'm
Takes up all
going to
the
actually
space.
cover mine in only Ape stickers.
There you go.
Only apes? Is that a new website?
Only
Guys,
apes.
thank you. Y'all say goodbye. Say goodnight, Abe.
Goodbye.
Later.
Y'all
Goodbye.
have a good evening.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Goodbye.
guys.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.